The game is really short in terms of like what one loop is. It's actually one of the games that was released on the Sega card format for the Master System. The Sega card is really restricted in the storage that it has, so they could only do like really short or simplified games for it.
That's right. Yes, one of the cheaper. It was cheaper to produce as well, but the downside is that it could not work on a cheaper budget model for Master System, aka Master System 2.
Yeah, they removed the card slot on that, as at the time that they were making the Master System 2, they had no real need for it. Cartridges were, at that point, just as cheap to produce, so they just stuck with that. But looks like the game's going smoothly for everyone so far. It is an auto-scroller, but there's some cool things that it can do. There's different power-ups they can gain. As you can see, Rasmus is using the C weapon, which is kind of that little beam that goes across and kills quite a lot of people at once. So there's actually not too much in terms of like speed strats that you can do on this game. You just need to not die, which is a lot harder than it seems. The game gets really frenetic, especially in the second level.
But there's a little secret, there's a little mechanic that allows players to enter the second level, and it's probably through the first level where there's like a diamond mine, and if you use a certain weapon, you can destroy it, and you need to destroy this mine to enter the second section of the game. We can see it on at least all 4 screens in a second. If you have a basic weapon, even if you use turbo, you will not be able to destroy it. You need to use a different kind of weapon. Weapon D allows you to destroy in one shot, and they all got weapon D, so that's gonna be great actually. On the top right of the screen, power, that's basically your HP. Yes, this game is a bit more forgiving. It's not a 1 HP game. And arm is basically whenever you use a different weapon, you actually have limited ammo. And Infinite Mystery just died. Yikes. That's going to be a bit of a problem because his weapons went back to default A.
Yep, and it'll take him back a little bit as well, I think, to the start of the small section, the level that he was on. So it'll mean that he needs to put a bit more effort in to actually get to where he needs to be. But he's got the D weapon back, so it's not looking too horrendous.
Rasmus' streams is frozen at the moment, but if you look on the left side of the screen, Peter and Mephistos, they're on section 2 right now.
Yep, the big thing to worry about with the second section is these, partly these enemies that'll fly down. They can catch you off guard if you're not aware of where they are and where they're going to go. But this section also has a boss in it, which they'll need to kill. And again, that can very easily catch you off guard if you're not careful. The health pool that you have, it may seem like you can take a few hits, but they can be taken very quickly if you're not careful.
The flying green balls, they're very easy to avoid. You just stay on the very left side of the screen at the very middle, and you can avoid every single one. They have a very predictable movement pattern.
Yeah, as you can see, Mephistos just hanging around on the left-hand side there, just to do exactly that.
Every enemy has some sort of simple AI to it, like they're floating enemies. They tend to shoot if their Y coordinates matches with the player, and these white enemies, they only go down or up if you go right above or underneath them.
Yeah, again, lining up with the whole reduced storage on the card format. They couldn't really afford to have too many different enemy patterns. They had to really concentrate what they had on particular things.
And Racing Rasmus is the first one to fight against the boss. It looks like an AT-AT. I forgot its actual name, but no, AT-ST, but I forgot its actual name for this game.
Rasmus takes a death to it, but we've got him and Mephistos both fighting that boss now. And we've got our first game over of the Master 15. Mephistos still fighting the boss. Beatum's beaten the boss, so he moves on to Enduro Racer. But Infinite Mystery game overed in the second level, but he needs to start all the way from the start again. So we now have Mephistus and Beatram both on Enduro Racer.
Okay, so Enduro Racer's goal is to beat the game, and there's technically two versions of the 8-bit game. We're playing the 1 meg version, which means that there's 5 courses, and the later 5 courses are just basically reused. The 2 meg version that only came out in Japan actually had 10 unique courses. And the main differences for the 1 meg's course 6 to 10 is that you're going to be going past more NPCs.
Yep, and the way that the game works in terms of its upgrades, as we'll see in a minute, is that every car you pass or bike in most of the levels, each one you pass gives you a point, and the upgrades cost a certain amount of points to purchase. So the more you pass, the more upgrades you'll be able to get more quickly.
Oh, Beatram's managed to go through 8 NPCs, Mephistus 7, and what else was notably different? Yeah, that's right. I think there was first and third tracks in the 1 meg version that only have cars. The other 8 levels you're going to see will be motorcycles, dirt bikes. And the main tactic to actually win this game is that you need to perform stunt jumps. And the reason for that, and it's actually mentioned in the instruction manual, is that whenever you perform a stunt jump, the in-game timer countdown on the top left of your screen actually slows down by 50%.
Yep, and that actually means that you're actually able to finish all of the courses in time. If you didn't do the stunt jumps, there'd be a good chance that you wouldn't make it in time, just because of how much longer you'd be taking on the in-game timer. As you might be able to see on a few of the levels before, the second loop becomes more obvious if you don't do any stunt jumps, but it is a case of you need to do the stunt jumps realistically to be able to actually get through the game.
Mephistus got through 5 NPCs, and not sure how many Beatram has done. Let's have a look. 6, okay. That's going to play quite a big difference in the later levels, especially for courses 6 to 10, because the upgrades will cost twice as much, and Beatram can actually, accept mistakes if he didn't go past a certain amount of NPCs, because he still has some spare points remaining after each engine upgrade. And the engine upgrade is pretty much the must-have for getting a fast time, which basically allows the top speed increased from 200 kilometers to 263. And if you bail, you will lose your power-up.
Yep, and if you're not careful, it only takes one mistake to bail. And with the speed that these guys are going at, it's very easy to make that mistake. You just need to be slightly out of alignment with where you want to be. And if you hit a rock or a car or another bike, you'll just fall off your bike and go back to the default engine.
So Mephistus managed to go through 9 PCs, Beatram 8, so the point difference is only 1 now. Course 4 is interesting. It's my favourite level out of the 5 in the 1 meg version. There's loads of actual traps in this one. You need to perform stunt jumps to get to the other side. And you may have noticed they perform a wheelie. There's a mechanic mentioned in the manual as well. So if you perform a wheelie, you can do a perfect landing, and that allows you to keep your top speed at max at all times. If you just do a regular jump, your top speed will go down due to suspension. But there is an upgrade which allows you to get perfect landings without performing the wheelie jumps first. But that's a bit of a
It's a bit of a cop-out. Yeah. If you're playing at a reasonable level, you shouldn't need that. You should be able to perform the stunt jumps with the wheelie timed correctly. So see TNT on screen now. He's also an Enduro Racer, not far behind the other two either. He's only 1 course now behind the other guys. It's like less than a course behind the other guys. So it's really not much of a difference between them.
This is course 5 now for both Beatram and Mephistus, and eventually TNT once his screen pops up. And this is the tough level when you use an engine power. I tend to not use engine for this level because most of the time you play a little bit more cautiously due to the rocks and cliff edges, I want to say. You just actually bail.
Yeah, you'll just fall off then if you get clipped by them. And, Mephistus hits another bike and explodes. So he's now lost his engine upgrade for the rest of this. So it gives Beatram a chance to get a little bit of a lead over him. Now, Beatram... oh, no, Beatram explodes as well.
Yeah.
Which even this thing's a lot now. Now, Beatram has a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to changing games. He's running all on original cartridges apart from for E-SWAT. But I think he's running it on an original Master System as well, which means that he has the BIOS time as well, which will slow things down a little bit for him.
We'll explain the reason for E-SWAT later, but right now this is Loop 2 because the US version used a 1 meg card and not 2 meg, so you can see the same 5 tracks again, but a lot more NPCs to go through.
So everybody seems to be having trouble with Course 5 so far. TNT's taken a damage as well. He only overtook 7 NPCs on that one. I think that might cause a problem a bit later on if he doesn't get enough points in the later levels.
And one thing I should mention as well, TNT took 52 damage. So the damage meter on the bottom right, that means that if it reaches up to 99, the in-game clock on your top left of your screen will count down twice as fast. You'll lose 8 to 10 points if you bail badly, like a bike crash. But if it's a rock, it's usually 2 or 4 points, very minor.
It's also worth pointing out that there aren't any continues in this game. If you run out of time, you're starting from the beginning.
That's correct.
So it's very much a case of if you lose in course 9 or 10, you're losing a lot of time. The game takes around about 10 minutes real time to get through. So if you run out of time in the last couple, you've lost a good chunk of minutes.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Just keep an eye on the damage meter as well. Sometimes it's much wiser for a last course to repair off some damage points instead of just buying another engine upgrade. Because, to be honest, the engine's a bit risky for course 5/10 for obvious reasons.
Yeah, no one has yet taken an engine for course 6, from what I saw, the repeat of course 1. I think to save points. For the later courses, just for the cost increase. I think everybody so far has taken them for 5, though.
If you're very lucky with engine skills for courses 6 to 10, you can usually bypass 20 NPCs, which is equivalent to an engine purchase. 17-18 is not too bad. I think they got some spare points for the remaining levels.
Yeah, I think that's why they haven't bought engines on round 6. Just to have a few extra points to work with. Especially if they end up needing to repair come the later end. TNT's looking closest to needing some sort of repair, but no one's actually taken it yet. But so far, Enduro Racer looking relatively smooth for everyone. No one's at a point of actually risking running out of time yet. And it is very, very close between Mephistus and Beatram right now.
Well, that's going to change completely when Penguin Land comes into play. That's the next game. That's a huge... That used my brain a lot more than the all other games, so I'll tell you that right now. And even if I was doing them...
That said, Penguin Land, if you know how to do the actual the puzzles, it shouldn't have much of a time differential. Like they should be relatively close if they've all practiced.
Yeah.
If they haven't practiced, they will be struggling quite a lot.
So Beatrim, Mephistus, and TNT are on course 9 out of 10. Infinite Mysteries on course 5. Beatrim finishes first, and look at that, 19-19 twice in a row, 16-16. Look at the difference there in points. 101 versus 110. That's a 9-point difference for NPCs, which, yeah, he can buy, I think he just bought an item.
Get an engine, yeah.
Okay.
But Mephistus has got 51 points total, so he's buying several upgrades. The handle upgrade, which I don't think we've explained yet, will allow you to go left and right much quicker. And the accelerator, obviously, as you just saw, will mean that you get to your top speed much faster. If you crash, I believe you lose all of them. Or is it just the engine? Yeah, you lose all of them.
Yeah. You get the regular background music when you have no upgrades, but the special one if you have at least one power-up running.
Yeah. So yeah, you lose all of the upgrades if you manage to fall off your bike for whatever reason. But Mephistus taking the accelerator does save a little bit of time, but he probably lost the time back in actually going through the menu to do it. But now I have Beatrim and Mephistus both going through to Penguin Land.
So Penguin Land is...
you can see the difference in time between Mephistus and Beatrim loading games up.
So this is a puzzle platformer, and if you're playing it on an official cart, a Sega Genesis controller will have problems playing this game. I can say like I think the start button actually had a function on a Genesis controller, which is something should never really happen, but it just doesn't really play as you expect it to be. But,
what happens on a Genesis controller is that it will force you to go to the left all the time when you're trying to play this game. There's a few others that do that. I can't remember any actually off the top of my head, but there are a few games that don't properly work on a Genesis controller, and this is one of them.
You may have noticed this straight away to the viewers, but the white flashing bar, that's like a safety check. Basically, if the safety bar is above the lowest platform, that means the egg will not will break, except for a very, very large floor, as you can see.
Yep, so Beatrim and Mephistus have both got through the first round of Penguin Land. That was very smooth on Beatrim's part specifically. A whole 6 seconds on the timer faster than Mephistus managed. TNT seems to be working through it reasonably well as well.
And there's you see those cracks, the blue tiles are cracks. That means whenever egg touches that crack, it will instantly break. The penguin cannot actually break it, but only the egg can, as you can see on Mephistus' screen. It also has a screen wrap, but only for the penguin, where if the penguin falls down to the very bottom, it will respawn at the very top.
Yeah, I can't remember if they use it during this particular run, but it can be useful if you're kind of playing through the rest of the game as well.
Definitely, yeah. I don't think I'd need to use the screen wrap technique for the first 3 levels, but it's a good like fail-safe situation in case something you got stuck on something and the egg is too high and the penguin's way too low. You can use that trick to get to the upper half of the screen.
Yep, so Mephistus and Beatrim taking very different routes through this level.
And they got to keep on move the screen very quickly as well, because eventually there's a bird that comes in and drops a golden brick that actually destroys the egg, but does not harm the penguin. The penguin can pick up this golden brick that slowly falls down. And Mephistus has... Oh, that's quite a noble lead for Mephistus.
Yeah, he got through that really quickly. That's really well done from the Sisters there. That was a really good solution to that level, and he moves on to the third one.
Yeah, the goal for this game is to complete levels 1, 2, and 3. So this is the last level for this race.
And Beecham also manages to get through round 2.
TNT is nearly at the end of round 2. This is the part that I got a bit stuck on a few times.
Yeah, this is not an easy game whatsoever if you're not used to the levels. It can easily catch you out because they can sometimes you can get yourself in situations where you just can't get out, and you have to either take a death or generally take a death. That got away from me.
Let's see. Crazy Rasmus is partway through Enduro Racer on the bottom right. He's just done level 8, so soon he'll be playing Penguin Land.
Yeah, I think we're having some issues with Rasmus's stream. I know his internet connection isn't very good, so it could be that.
Yes. And let's see. Mephistus also at the end of level 3. He just killed one of the 2 polar bears, and he's going to be done. That's it. Next game is Aladdin.
So Aladdin, this is one of the many versions of Aladdin that was released. It seems every single console of the time got a version of Aladdin, and they're all different in their own way.
5 levels, I think, in the Master System version are auto-scrollers, 3 general platforming levels, and 1 boss fight. But the one nice thing about the auto-scrollers is the very smart 3D style effect on the buildings you see in the first 2 levels. If you pay attention to the building walls, you'll see what I mean. Nice thing about the auto-scoring levels, they're like under a minute at most, so you won't be seeing this for too long, which is a good thing. But the first 2 levels are auto-scrollers, then is 2 platforming-based levels, then another auto-scroller. But I'll explain more as we go later on into the game. That's Infinite Mystery. I was going to say Crazy Rasmus. Infinite Mystery is on either course 5 or course 10 and has a damage rating of 98. If it goes up to 99, the countdown on top left of the screen will count down twice as fast, which will be a bit of a problem. And yep, that's 99 now, so he has to finish this level very quick, or it's going to be a game over again.
Yeah, as you can see, the timer is going down a lot more quickly than it was.
He's done it.
Is that round 10? Yes. So Infinite Mystery gets to move on to Penguin Land. Now, I know that he was having some difficulty in practice with Penguin Land, so we'll have to see how it goes for him.
Mephistos' screen right now is level 3. This is the first platforming level. There's loads of jumping involved, to perform a slide, it's not like your typical Mega Man slide. You have to perform a dash and then push the 1 button to slide. The down and jump button in this game allows Aladdin to sneak. And for some reason, whenever you crouch, it will lower the spikes. So the intention there is that you need to sneak to get rid of the spikes.
Yeah, I think that's just the game's way of kind of making sure you don't run through everything. It seems very Prince of Persia inspired with that sort of thing, like with the traps and in a way like the movement mechanics as well.
You also technically have up to 6 hits HP in this game as well. So one circle is equivalent to 2 HP. So 3 of them is 6 HP. Aladdin does pick up stones, mainly to stun enemies and to activate switches to unlock doors.
Yeah, as you've sort of done, you might have seen it a minute ago, where Mephistos picked up a rock and then instantly threw it to actually activate a door that he went through. But Mephistos takes a death there.
Questionable one too.
Yeah, very questionable. There's no real reason for him to do that. He could have got back up on that platform. But he has to go through that level again. I believe this game's infinite continues, so it doesn't matter how many times you die, it's just set back in time.
Yeah, I think this game has infinite continues as far as I know. I want to say, let's see, I think Mephistos is still in the lead because Beatron had to pick up a key and now Beatron will be... Yeah, Mephistos is still in the lead.
He's still in the lead even with that death. But it's a lot less of a lead than it was.
So Mephistos is now on level 4. This is a really short platforming level. The main gimmick in this one is to avoid the treasures, because obviously that triggers a trap and you can't do anything about it to avoid the 3 rocks that will kill Aladdin. I think that's a really short, quick performance by Mephistos. Completed the second platforming level. Here comes now auto-scroller.
Yep, Beaton's just started it. So yeah, it's time to go on a magic carpet ride.
This one actually has splits paths into 2. If you actually touch a wall or a ceiling, that's instant death as far as I know. But flame traps, spike traps, and I think closing door traps, if there is any, if I remember correctly, that's minor damage. Fortunately, there's a bread near the end, partway through the level, like now. So it's like, oh, I just took hits 4 times. Oh, there's a bread. I just recorded 4 HP. If this is on the last platforming level, this is also by far the longest level in the game. This also involves some stealth gameplay as well, a rarity for 8-bit games. This has got good strategy. Whenever you pick up a stone and go away, you can go to the left to respawn the same stone pickup. So he's got pretty much enough, and any other stones he picks up, they're just naturally in the route.
Yeah, just spending a little bit of time to farm some rocks can just give you that little bit of peace of mind, really, if you need to use one.
Now, if a guard grabs you, that's game over as well, so you gotta watch out for that. But if getting hit by a chandelier, that's like losing 1 HP. That's nothing. And the scabs, that's at your checkpoint icon. There's 2 in this level. That's the first checkpoint, so he's now in part 2 of this level, pretty much. Beatron's going for the normal strat, which involves picking up the stones in that one area, not doing the respawn trick.
Yeah, I'd have thought the respawn trick would be a little bit quicker than going down to a different room, but
Yeah.
I'm assuming Beaton probably doesn't know about the respawn trick in that case if he's not doing it.
Another thing to mention on Mephisto's screen, you have to open up the door because you need to use a key in order to pick up another key. You can't carry 2 keys at once. He's almost at the end as well from Mephistus. He's got the last key. He's doing the safety strut. It's possible to stun the guard once, pick up the key and leg it and not get caught. Well, it may, the execution when they can be a bit tight and worrisome, if that's a word, if you mess it up.
It's looking good for Mephistus at the moment, though. He's getting through this level reasonably well.
I think, yep, that's a key to activate the door switch, and this key, the stone to activate the door switch, I mean, not the key, and the key itself to open up the last door. Now, for Mephistus' screen, he has got to go through 2 more auto-scrolling levels and a boss fight. Beatrim is on section 3 of the longest platforming level in the game. Infinite Mystery is still playing Penguin Land. Infinite Mystery is a pretty well-known player for doing most of these big races, usually blind, sometimes semi-blind. Like he did play this game yesterday, and it's not the most blind. This game in particular is not the most blind-friendly if you're playing the most intended way possible, i.e., not using save states to quickly figure out the solutions.
Yeah, this is probably the least blind friendly of the games in this.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just for it being a puzzle game, really.
Even Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yeah, Ghouls and Ghosts is actually, as we'll come to, it's probably the most blind friendly version of the game.
Yeah,
and I'm not entirely sure why TNT decided to jump off that, but that is a death. You'll have to do that section again.
Now, apologies, but I don't know my Disney lore too much, but I think that's Jafar? Jafar?
Yeah, that's Jafar, I believe, yeah.
Jafar, yeah.
Who's the big bad of Aladdin.
Yeah. There's 2 strategies for this. You can stay to the left and have enough reaction time to... Oh, that's a downside of that strategy, is that if you get caught by one spell, you get stunned for a few seconds and not be able to jump again for a few seconds. My strategy when I was making tutorials is that I go not directly underneath, but nearly underneath the enemy to avoid every spell. But the downside is that you need to pretty much memorize every key moment for when to jump. So you need good reactions on jumping.
Yeah. And Beatrim is just starting the first of these 2 auto-scrollers.
Wonder, can you hear audio on the stream? I wonder. I'm not sure. I don't put mine on just in case I hear my own voice, but you get to hear a 8-bit rendition of a whole new world.
Yep. The goal for Penguin Land, as DC's just said in chat, is to beat round 3.
Boss fight for Aladdin is very quick as well. There's 2 phases. The first phase is just slicing with a sword, and then the second phase is slicing against a cobra 8 times.
Yeah, the snake phase can be really annoying. Like if you get caught by a few too many of the fireballs, then it can finish you off if you're trying to go too quickly. But Mephistus appears to have managed it. And yeah, a very quick switch from Mephistus there.
So this game. So every Monday night we play a thing called Master Monday, and it's basically a blind race of a nearly random Master System game, and it was only very recently we played through this one. This game is very inconsistent on how well you can do in this game, because sometimes you could do this very quickly, sometimes you may need to use a couple of continues, if not a lot. And the goal for this one was not even decided when the games were first announced, but it was only like, I want to say, a few days, if not a week at most later, that we decided for a goal. Beatrice decided a goal for this, and the goal is as simple as completing the first level, which sound very quick.
Yeah, it sounds very quick, but Rambo is a very annoying game to actually do quickly, and even to do at all. It's not the easiest game. As you can see, these flamethrower guys for a start, they can as Mephistus is finding, they can pin you down very easily, and then someone else can just come in and pick you off while you're trying to avoid the flamethrowers.
But one of the main strategies is that you can destroy concentration camps to release prisoners, and the prisoners will give you a power-up. The power-ups varies from like improved blast rages whenever you use arrows, so it does like a diamond formation whenever the arrow explodes, which is a lot more reliable way of killing enemies. You can have a long shot for your machine gun weapon. You can have extra lives, extra ammo for your arrows, and your typical kill all enemies when you pick up this power-up right now sort of thing as well. And Mephistus is done very well because he just completed the first level. That's huge.
That's very quick. Yeah, that could change a lot in this race. It's a very good lead for Mephistus now. Beatrice hasn't finished Aladdin yet, and I don't know if Rasmus has. I can't imagine he has yet. So he's now an entire game ahead.
So right now, Mephistus is on E-SWAT, and the goal is to finish the game. Now, if you looked at the list on the Sega Speedruns website, it says easy version. Now, do not get confused when you select the difficulty to easy. There's actually two different ROM versions for this game, and the easy version, the main difference is that whenever you pick up a bullet icon, you see partway through the levels, that will give you 100 bullets instead of 50. The second difference is that whenever you enter a boss scene, your HP gets filled up to max. So it's for the first two levels, you see as a human, that's up to 2 bars. But as the Mech Armor E-SWAT form, that's up to 6 bars. So you can take as much damage as you want in the first section of each level. And then when you enter the boss fight, your HP is at full, which makes the game a lot easier.
That said, it's still not easy.
The first two levels, no.
The first couple are, but the rest of the game can really get challenging.
And it's similar to Ninja Gaiden for the Master System, where you can't really mash your heart's content to kill bosses very quickly. They have pretty lengthy invincibility times, and for the first boss, there's like 4 cycles of just hitting the boss. You do 3 per cycle, then it curls up into a ball, goes to the other side of the screen. Doing it and just repeat. The easiest way to dodge a shot, the fireballs, is to crouch after the enemy spits out a fireball. If you do it before spitting out the fireball, he will actually aim the fireball downwards. And Beecham is on a pretty good run as well for Rambo. He's just got to watch out for the grenades, and there's a reason why that happens. Because the screen has not been moving for a long time. The game's like saying, get your butt back into gear. Keep on moving, but it's like you can't, because that's the very end of the screen.
But Beecham again as well makes it through Rambo very quickly.
And that's going to be a huge difference for the other runners. They struggle on Rambo, trust me. Now this is the game Beecham's using a flash cart on, because he actually has a real card at E-SWAT, but he actually has the hard version ROM, which makes the game a little bit harder for a speed run. Like, he can't get health refills whenever he starts a boss fight. He gets less ammos whenever he picks up a bullet icon.
Yeah. In terms of the actual like speed of his change, though, it probably won't make that much difference, because the Master Everdrive, if you don't put an SD card in, it'll just load whatever game you had last, as though it's just a normal game cartridge. So
that's true.
Load the E-SWAT ROM into it, and put it into the Master System, and it'll just load that straight up if you don't put the SD card in.
When it comes to like top tier world record pace for these kind of runs on E-SWAT, R&D does come into a factor for around stage 3 to 10. Partway through the level, there's a power-up, and there's 3 different power-ups, and the RNG is usually either frame-based or input-based, according to my research. And I tell you the 3 power-ups right now. There's a flame weapon, which is like a flame pillar, which is like a full screen effect, which lasts for a couple of seconds, and it's a very reliable weapon against certain bosses. There's a spread shot weapon which attacks on both sides. It's by far the most powerful weapon in the game because it allows you to destroy bosses in 5 hits. And that's comparing to like, I don't know, like 10 or 12 hits with just regular bullets, which is a huge difference. And the third and last weapon is a triple wave beam like shot. It's kind of basic really. It just shoots 3 moon shaped like beams and doesn't really do too much damage.
So I've just seen TNT get through Aladdin by the skin of his teeth. He only had 1 hit remaining, so he now moves on to Rambo. Looks like Rasmus is attempting to get through Rambo himself, but again we're still having some issues with his stream.
So Mephisto is now fighting against the boss of stage 4. There's one other version difference in the hard one, which actually made a better change really. The right platform you see on Mephisto's screen, that was removed in the hard version, which basically allowed the player to actually have more jumping space to jump over missiles.
Yeah, the fact that the player has a lot more health going into bosses though makes things significantly easier, even if you do take a couple of extra missiles from the extra platform being there. That said, Mephistus is having some issues, but he gets the boss down.
Crazy Master is almost, can he destroy this gate? Oh, he's not aiming it properly. You need to be aiming right at the core. Okay, he's done it now. It's just don't get hit, and yes, he got through.
Yes, well done to Rasmus there. TNT having issues with Rambo is just taking the game over, so Rasmus has now overtaken him into 3rd place. So now we're going to have three players on E-SWAT. Not E-SWAT, yeah, 3 players on E-SWAT. 1 player on Rambo, and I think Infinite Mystery is still back on Penguin Land.
Now Mephisto's got 4 flame pillar weapons. That's very okay. There's a spread shot there. He needs to try and avoid that if he wants to play the next boss safe, because machine weapon is definitely not the most casual friendly boss, because he can just use flame pillars and just let it do it all. You see what I mean. If you look at Mephisto's screen right now, the unique thing about machine bosses is that there's no invincibility frames for each hit, so it actually does a lot of hits for a single use. And there's 5 weak spots on the machine boss, and after using that same weapon twice, it took out 3 of the 4 weak spots. And there you go. Without that particular weapon, you need to be risky. You need to go right up next to the weak spots and use your main weapon, destroy the upper 2 guns, and then take out the lowest gun. And then all you need to do is just focus on the core. Now, Crazy Rasmus just took a death a few seconds ago, so he's still doing level 1 again. Let's see. So who's on the lead right now? So in first place is Mephistus on the bottom left, followed by Beecham on the top left. Then it's Crazy Rasmus on the bottom right. And in fourth, but not last, because there's a few other players who are not on this particular stream yet. TNT's in fourth place, Infinite Mysteries in fifth place. Not sure there's any other runners yet.
Yeah, I think we have 5 runners in total. So yeah, the order that you gave is accurate.
That's good to know. Okay, so Beecham's got the Flame Pillar weapon against Machine Boss, so he won't have problems fighting against it right now. Just took out 2 out of the 4 weak spots. Another thing to keep an eye on is that your HP. Whenever you lose your blue health, you lose part of your armor. And that's just a visual difference. But if you lose your orange parts of your HP, you become armorless and you cannot use your secondary weapons at all.
Yeah, it's kind of the game's way of being mean. If you take too much damage, it just stops you from using the secondaries. But TNT just made it through Rambo, so he gets to move on to E-SWAT as well. So now I have 4 people on E-SWAT.
Crazy Rasmus has 3 HP against the first boss. As long as he knows how to time the shots correctly and know when to crouch, it's not a hard fight at all. Now, Mephistus, he's in round 4-2 right now. The thing for this one, funny enough, is that you fight against the same boss twice. Like, you just took out 2 flying heads, and the boss coming right up at the end of this bit is 2 robots. A little fun fact: when I was testing this game, when using the best weapon against boss fights, is that when using the spread shot against the robot, you can do 2 normal hits with the secondary weapon. Then for the third time you use it, you need to be nearly point blank, so that you hit that robot twice. One to remove its armor to reveal its green exoskeleton, and the second shot from the same weapon actually damages the robot. And you need to do that twice, because you'll be fighting against them twice. So if you look at Crazy Rasmus' stream right now, there is a 1 cycle, well, a no boomerang cycle if you time your shots correctly. You need to jump, and then shoot at the right time to actually hit the boss before he even gets a chance to throw his boomerang. And Crazy Master's got a good weapon RNG, he's got a spread shot, so he can take out this boss coming right up in just 5 hits. He can save a bit of time if he knows how to use it properly. To use your secondary weapon, you need to push both buttons, but you gotta make sure you're not even touching the D-pad at all. If you hold left or right, you cannot use your secondary weapon.
Yep, and anyone watching, if you think that having to fight the same boss twice is ridiculous, you haven't seen anything when it comes to bad bosses yet. Just wait until we get to Legend of Illusion, you'll see what bad bosses mean. So far, on screen at least, we've got all 4 players on screen playing E-SWAT.
And that's game number 6 out of 15. Now, Mephistus should be on 5-1. He's got the flame weapon still, so the boss in 5-1 will be a piece of cake. Beatrium's on 4-2. Crazy Erasmus currently end of 3-2. TNT is on 3-1 using the spread shots. Now, the next game is quite a hilarious one. It's a Master System port of Golden Axe. I want you guys to guess how many frames there are per second in that game.
You'll be able to count them.
Oh, yes.
Well, you'll be able to count them when there's multiple enemies on screen at least. The game lags a lot when there's a lot going on. When there's nothing going on, then just a player running around, it's a lot smoother. But you won't see that a lot, especially not with the guys trying to get through as quickly as possible.
Oh, Mephistus found the perfect crouch spot against the final boss. Use the flame pillars to destroy the 4 crystals, and that will get the fat guy down to the ground floor and for the final showdown. And if you find a perfect spot to crouch, you can avoid every single shot. The intended method is like the very first boss. You need to crouch just after the boss fires a projectile.
But we don't have time for that. We love our cheese stuff. But Mephistus moves on to Golden Axe.
So the goal for this... The goal for this one is to complete the 3rd level, and I've looked up online recently, and the visual sprite, the impressive sprite to a Master System game was actually done by actually updating the background, similar to the NES Gauntlet games and the Master System version of Street Fighter 2. And you may have noticed when you start the game, you have a choice of 3 different magics. Yeah, budget cuts in this one, so you couldn't play as the girl nor Gilly as Thunderhead. So you have the magics, but you don't have the physical movesets. And to perform the magic, you need to push both jump and attack. And the input's kind of forgiving sometimes, because at worst times you may accidentally push both buttons and perform magic. And because of that, you can't even perform the powerful back attack in this game. But when you ride a beast, that's a very powerful move to use in game. It's as strong as a high jump downwards stab. And to perform a dash in this game, you don't push the same direction very quickly like 99% of other games that allows you to dash through that way. You need to push the arrow button once, and then wait for like a quarter second, and then push it again to run. So you see him walking, and then stand still for a bit, and then you push the button again to make him run. I'm not making this up.
Yeah, because the Master System controller is not quite, let's just say it's not quite the friendliest. Performing some of the movement-based stuff can be quite annoying. The D-pad on the Master System controller is very interesting in its properties.
Yeah, I can agree on that. If you're used to playing an NES controller, a Master System controller, even though it looks similar, it feels very different, especially the buttons. Sometimes you feel like you need to push the buttons much harder than you would normally need to. And I have problems when playing certain games with a Master System controller. I tend to do most of my runs on a Genesis controller, which I'm much more comfortable when using that one at least.
Yeah, and most Master System games are fine using a Genesis controller. There's a few, like Penguin Land earlier, that has issues with using a Genesis controller. Mephisto seems to have got himself kind of worked into a corner there. Not the best situation to be in, and he's had to use his magic.
And even though the sprites for the enemies are exactly the same, the ones you encounter later, despite looking very similar, they actually do have more HP. And another fun fact as well is that whenever you knock off the enemy who is using a beast ride, they actually take 0 damage. So if you've got a very powerful spell and use that to knock off the beast rider, that beast rider will take 0 damage from your magic attack. You need to knock them off first, and any attack you do afterwards actually deals damage.
However, you're not so lucky. If you get knocked off your beast, you will take damage from it.
That's true.
Because the game is not fair at all.
Oh, damage boost on the dino. I've never seen that one before. So Mephistus went for the fire magic. That means that using higher level spells, at least level 2, level 3, level 4, costs a bit more than the others, but it gains access to a level 5 spell, which requires 8 magic jars. And that spell in particular is so powerful that if you use it against a white knight, you can use any other regular move to kill it right afterwards.
And hopefully we'll be able to get Mephistus to do that. I'll be able to see him do that, should I say. He seems to be using his magic fairly liberally at the moment to try and deal with these the Amazonians, I think. These guys, the big axe there, they're particularly annoying. They move very quickly, they attack very quickly, and they'll knock you off your mount in one hit. I think everything knocks you off your mount in one hit.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
But yeah, they move very quickly and they attack very quickly as well, which makes things very awkward in terms of trying to get any real offense on them.
TNT just died a few seconds ago, and I'm trying to figure out if he's on level 4-1. He's on 4-1 still. Crazy Rasmus is on 5-. He's on 5-2 because I know that grenade got. No, he's on 5-1 even. My apologies. And he doesn't have the flame pillars, but as you can see on the Crazy Rasmus screen, you can go point blank and destroy the turrets. Because the machine boss have 0 invincibility frames, so you can just go Rambo and just destroy everything in your sight. Mephistus on the 3rd level. Technically there's 5 levels, but the goal for this race, we're just getting up to the end of the 3rd level. Beatrim's still on level 2. This is the easy part. The safe strat for Mephistus, just do regular jump attacks because you get good range.
Yeah, good range, but the damage isn't quite at the same level as if you did the more powerful attack.
Yeah. But he's got chicken leg now. He can just use tail whip to deal max damage.
Although he made a meal of that one entirely. He got knocked off because he tried attacking the enemy when he wasn't quite lined up with it. The lining up, the enemies don't seem to need to be lined up anywhere near as much as you do to be able to damage you.
Oh yeah, I've noticed that as well. Their attacking range, hitbox range, is much bigger than yours, from what I remember. And with this, just gotta be careful because you only have, I think, 2 or 1 continue
You
in
get
this game.
1 continue. I think it's 1 continue normally, and I think there's a thing you can do to get a second.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I know that both Mephistus and Beatram know about that, about how to get the second continue. I'm not sure if if TNT or Infinite Mystery do. I think Perseverance does as well.
Oh yeah, another fun fact as well. For all those people who play other versions of Golden Axe, you cannot perform a dash attack to cross over the bridge. I did that during the Blind Master Monday race a few weeks ago, and I lost 2 lives because of it.
You will just run straight off.
So the jump is pretty much the scariest part of the run because you may lose more than a few lives, but you can pause buffer. You can pause the game, hold your button inputs, then unpause the game to get it to work.
Yep. And looking at Infinite Mystery's screen, he's still struggling on Penguin Land, it seems.
I think he's on the 3rd level from the looks of things. I think so, yeah.
He is, but it's not looking good. I think he might have to take a death on this one and start the level again. Oh no, he's worked it out, I think.
If he knows how to screen wrap, go down bottom.
He screen wrapped a minute ago, so I'm sure he does know how to do that.
That's good.
He just needs to get the egg off that pillar now. Oh, no, not like that.
Oh no.
That's a game over, but he can round select to get to the level he was on, so that's not too bad. He just has to start the level again. Right now in the lead we have Mephistus, although he has just had to use his continue on Golden Axe. Second place is Beaton, 3rd place is Crazy Rasmus, and 4th place is TNT.
TNT is not on the stream like now, or the main stream, but he'll be there very soon when there's another rotation available. But it looks like Crazy Rasmus stream is going fine now.
Yeah, it's a lot smoother than it was. We're having some difficulties with Rasmus' stream earlier on, but it's definitely working a lot better than it was.
Mephistus doing the infinite combo. You do 2 jabs and then turn around for the 3rd to reset your jab attacks, and he's done it. He's done Golden Axe. He's now playing.
He's done the goal. He's now onto Fantasy Zone: The Maze, which is a very interesting kind of Pac-Man-ish game. Think Pac-Man with guns.
Definitely, that's the easiest thing. Yeah. That's the easiest way to describe this game is think Pac-Man, but he's got weapons and he can't. And they're not free because every pellet, which is coins in this game, it varies based on the size. So big coins get, I think, 100. Small coins is worth 10. And if you kill an enemy, the coin also varies in size as well. Like, I think 500.
Yeah.
And
answer a question in chat just for a sec. The magic in Golden Axe, the amount of ranks you've got makes the magic more powerful, but obviously more expensive to use. So it can be worth getting a magic that gets to its maximum rank more quickly, but has less ranks, so you can use more of its most powerful rank. Because obviously the magic Beatram's using, its 3rd rank is at 4 magic jars, whereas having 4 magic jars will only get you 2 of the magic Rasmus is using and only 1 of the magic TNT is using. And it can make quite a big difference in terms of being able to use more magic.
Yeah, most Golden Axe speedruns or done on other platforms, they mainly use the most powerful magic in the game. And I think in one of the tool system speedruns in the past, they used it at least twice. One for level 2 and another one when fighting against Death Ada near the end. So Fantasy Zone as John explained everything very well, it's not an easy game because if you know the whole franchise, whenever you buy a power-up, if you buy that same power-up again later, the prices increases. So you see on Mephisto's screen, he's like pretty much going like Super Pac-Man style mode, being invincible, going very fast. But whenever he plays another level later on, that same power-up will be a lot more expensive to buy. So there's a bit of a strategy comes into play, so you can avoid using the game calls it top power. If you avoid top power in the early levels, you can use it more frequent in the later levels because it won't cost as much.
Yeah. That said, the quicker you actually complete each level, which can be aided obviously by buying power-ups, the more bonus coins you'll get. That can, in some cases, kind of offset the increase in cost. And with how short the goal is compared to the entire game, that can make a big difference. They're only actually going to be doing half the game here, but even if you game over, you can level select to whatever the last one you were on, and we're counting completion. So you don't need to worry too much about the increase in prices, I don't think.
Yeah, there's advantages and disadvantages. The advantage that for this goal is that you can start on the world free if you wanted to, but the disadvantage, the other advantage is that the prices will be back to normal, so not too expensive. The disadvantage is that your gold will be at 0 at the start, so that's a bit of a double-edged sword. So if you do like worlds 1 to 3 in a single sitting, well, game over and stuff, it might be a bit easier because you can use your money to buy regular weapons to take out the enemies instead of using or relying on top power too much.
Yeah, it does look like Beatrim's catching up a bit though. He's making good time on both Golden Axe and this game so far. And Rasmus has just got through himself onto Fantasy Zone the Maze, while TNT is still having the slog of Golden Axe. Although he does have full magic, which I think he may be saving to use on the boss. Well, I'd say the boss is the end of this level. I think there's the 2 White Knights. Although he is perilously low on lives here.
So there's some strategies in Fantasy Zone Maze. You may notice the very middle of the map, the core. If you run over that core, you can delay the future enemy spawns, and you can use weapons to destroy the mobile bases. And these bases will create more enemies, which will cause more havoc, and more likely you're going to lose more lives because of it. To take them out, you can use weapons, which varies. There can be a wide gun, which increases your vertical range of weapons. I'm not saying this too well actually, but you got a wide shot, you got the regular double shot. There's other novelty weapons as well, such as the weights. Now the weights in Fantasy Zone tend to be very powerful weapons. It deals piercing damage and usually one hit kills most bosses in the game usually, but it got nerfed quite a bit in this one. It only can kill one enemy at a time when using the weights, and it spawns from the very top half of the screen, going straight down to the bottom. But it has some uses, so you could say Oprapa, the player, is on the very bottom half of the screen. He or she sees an enemy about to create an enemy, you can use a weight to take it out straight away instead of directly approaching it and use your shots.
Yep, we just had an unfortunate magic use there from TNT. He was in the in-between level little bonus thing, and he used his full power magic, which is a massive loss. He really could have done with that magic later on. Assuming he makes it through to the end of this level, which is not guaranteed. He's used his normal continue. I don't know if he's aware of the trick to get another one. He is, and he uses that. So he's got just these 2 lives now. If the game overs now, he'll have to start from the start of the game again.
Now, did Mephistos game over? No, he's starting on Ladoon with a reset. Okay. So basically, this means that all the weapons are now back to the default price, but you start with 0 gold. So it makes it easier for top power purchases for levels 3-1, 3-2, but it makes it harder to purchase other weapons because you have less gold to start off with.
TNT is having some real difficulty with this level on Golden Axe. He's lost, at least to the end of the last level and this level, he's lost basically an entire continues worth of lives, which is really set him back. He's going to have to play reasonably careful now if he wants to get through.
Hey, there you go. Mephistos done 3-1.
The kind of proviso on the acceptance of progression through resets and such on this game is that the bonus games you get at the end of each world, they do need to play through them bonus games, which it depends on how well they do, but if they manage to complete the bonus game, it can be a little bit quicker. I don't think there's many you can fully complete, but there are a couple.
Yeah, 3-2 is the last level to have top power, so don't expect to use top power tool on 3-3 because it does not exist. You need to use other weapons to take out enemies. So first is going to start on 3-3. Beatrim, he's on 3-1, and he's not going to reset. So this is the difference you can see right here on Beatrim's screen. He has already 16,000 gold, but the downside is that if he wants to use top power, which I'm sure he has used at least more than once, that's going to be a bit more expensive to purchase.
Yeah, I saw that when it was scrolling through. It's now costing 20,000, so he needs to still save up a fair few coins to be able to afford to buy top power even once. And I don't know how it happened, but he managed to miss everybody with that weight there.
Ooh, okay, Mephistos has 2 lives. He only has 700 gold, which is not great if he wants to use... Okay, got 1,200 gold.
I think like 700 really isn't much, but looking at TNT screen, it looks like he's made it through to Fantasy Zone now.
So he just make sure Mephistos does not reset his game because he's done 3-3. He has to play through this bonus game, even though there's no more challenge at all now. It's just that because we play through bonus games in World 1 and 2 to access the next world, quote unquote, it makes sense to do this on World 3.
Yep, and he's just sitting it out because obviously there's no point getting the coins. He's going to be moving on to pro wrestling.
And there you go, Mephistos has done Fantasy Zone the Maze. Crazy Rasmus has just done 3-1, he's going to be on 3-2. Just 2 more regular levels and a bonus stage for him. Beatrim's just got 2 more levels. He's technically just ahead of Crazy Rasmus in terms of progress, just 2 regular levels. Oh no, that's a game over. So now he's got to go back to 3-1. So Crazy Rasmus is in 2nd place, in other words. But the nice thing about...
I think that could be why Mephistos was resetting after each world, as well as the decreased cost. It'll give you a full stock of lives again. So it doesn't matter too much if you lose a couple of lives per world. if you're resetting after each one.
Oh, so Mephistus is not doing the fastest strategy for pro wrestling for the earlier levels. It's a wrestling game it's a localized version, because from what I remember in the Japanese release, which had featured nothing but women, this is all male wrestlers. And there's a speedrun strategy that's very basic.
Yeah, I believe it's if you manage, I think it's in a specific timing. If you manage to punch and then kick them and then immediately pin, then you're basically guaranteed a fall. At least I think it's the first 5 that you're guaranteed it. Now in pro wrestling, you need to get 10 falls to win the match. So we'll be seeing this for quite a bit if Mephistus isn't doing the speed strat.
Yeah, the speed strat for the first 4 levels, that whenever the enemy's down for a few seconds, you should be able to tag him out. But then for levels 5 to 10, he will get up immediately, but stays down on the ground after the 3rd combo. So when Beatron gets up to pro wrestling, you'll see what I mean.
Yeah, Beatron's been practicing this strat quite a bit, I think.
And just like John UK, your A9 just said a few seconds ago, if you pin him down on the right frame, you should be able to get a guaranteed tag, or even for the later levels. Something I could not be able to pull off when making a tutorial video. So I made a more friendly version by just doing 3 combos instead of relying on frame perfect tags.
For why Mephistus might not be using the fastest strat, I don't know if he's been able to pull it off in practice or not. If you don't manage to pull it off to actually get it, I believe it can lose a lot of time as well, in terms of the enemy doing different moves themselves. So it can be worth just taking the hit in time and doing something a bit safer.
Oh yeah, look, Crazy Rasmus is now...
Yeah, Rasmus, because of Beatron's game over in Fantasy Zone, Rasmus has overtaken Beatron now, and he's on Pro Wrestling. I believe he is doing the fast strat. Yes,
I think so too. He's getting like 250s by the end of each fight, whilst Mephistus is like around, I think I want to say 210.
Yeah, didn't work that time, but yeah, I don't think he's quite getting the timing spot on for this strat. And this is kind of what I was meaning when I was explaining about Mephistus not doing the fastest strat. It's a lot safer to do what Mephistus is doing if you can't get the fastest strat down. Because Rasmus is really not having a good time here with this.
Also, like how the enemies knows there's a chair when you go out the ring. It's like, oh, it got hit from the chair as well. Yikes. That's not good.
And he manages to...
It's this point, it's best to reset the game. This is not...
may as well. This is really not good. It's probably going to take... Is he tagging? Can he tag?
I think he pushed the wrong button.
Oh dear. Yeah, Rasmus is losing a lot of time here due to this.
There you go. He's going to get him out. Mephistus just finished the 5th fight. Rasmus just finished the 2nd fight. If Rasmus is a lot more luckier for the other fights, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Usually my tutorial looks like it's a lie. That was one combo, and tagged him.
It might not have been the right frame on the pin though.
The mysteries of this game expands.
Yeah, it's actually a lot more interesting than it might seem initially. It looks like Beatram's having some real difficulty with Fantasy Zone. He's still on it. I think he must have game overed at least another time to be still on this one.
I think this is the last level as well, because there's usually 4 rounds per world.
Yeah, including the bonus level, I believe.
He's got 3 lives
on the same. Yeah, TNT's on the same world as him now, though, so Beatram has lost a lot of time on this.
There you go. Beatram's in the safe zone now. He's just got to relax for the next 40-something seconds and complete the bonus level. Oh, Crazy Rasmus is not having a good time.
He really isn't. He could actually lose this if the CPU decides to pin him. I think he's
Wow, that's a first. Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
We still get continued, so it's fine. That's an interesting thing about the hitboxes in this game I noticed as well. Like, whenever I tend to not move at all, and I throw out my punch first, because there's a good amount of meaty frames for you fighting game fans out there who know what I'm talking about. And the hurt box, i.e. when the CPU gets hit, it's like there's walking phase, the startup phase, and then the active phase. You can punch him during the startup phase of his actual punch. So I pull out my punch first, the enemy walks into my punch, and he gets hit because he was about to launch his own punch. And when that connects, I tend to look at the purple pinkish spark. When that goes away, I hit my kick button right afterwards, which is my way of timing the next attack.
Yeah, Rasmus is really not going well on this.
Beatram's having problems too, as well.
Yeah, he got the first fall really well, but the second fall is already proving more difficult to get.
And Mephisto's got the 9th fight done? Looks like so. Yeah, that's the fight 9. 9 fight done. Just one more fight to go, and he's done pro wrestling. Funnily enough, all 3 players who are playing pro wrestling right now are using completely different pairs of characters.
Yeah, I believe in terms of the basic moveset, they're all the same though. You've got your kick, your punch, your body attack, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's just the more special moves. I think that changes slightly.
Yeah, when you pick him up, throw him to the ropes, and bounce back, you got a follow-up move, and those attacks differ depending on which character you play as.
So you can see how much time Rasmus has lost, even with Beatram's issues in Fantasy Zone. He's only 1 fall behind now, and actually he's got that fall as well, so now they're pretty much even.
Mephistos has done it.
Finished, yeah. So he's moved on to Legend of Illusion. Now, Legend of Illusion is a beat the game goal, so they'll be going all the way through this one. I believe 3 of the players here have run the game before as full speed runs, and that is Beatram, Mephistos, and I think has Rasmus run this? I can't remember. Beatram and Mephistos definitely have.
I can quickly look it up and see. I won't guess and say no, but Legend of Illusion. So you may notice what the heck's going on with the screen resolution, and the game is originally a Game Gear game that got officially ported by the team from Brazil, Tectoy. And let's see if leaderboard. Oh, okay. The leaderboard's not really up to date because there's Beatram and Craft Lab, KRAFLAB.
And Mephistus hasn't run it then. I can't remember, but obviously he'll have been practicing at least a certain amount for this, so I can imagine he's I don't know, he's having trouble. But yeah, the game is a Game Gear port from the masters of Brazilian quality at Tectoy.
And you may have noticed when you're watching this game right now is that Mickey cannot perform his signature butt slam like he can do in the previous 2 games. Instead, he throws soap bubbles, which is just a projectile, but has some uses against fireballs and even against certain bosses later on.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how the logistics of a soap bubble catching a fireball would work, but clearly it does. So Beatram's having some issues in this sixth round of pro wrestling, and it's actually getting really close between Beatram, TNT, and Rasmus.
Yeah, TNT is on the 5th fight, just 1 fight behind the other 2 runners. But it is a fun level. This is Ducking Palace on Mephistus screen. It's also a level to feature magnets as platforms and blocks. The one you see kind of right up, if he picks up the it's a North Pole block, the South Pole blocks will come out and become platforms. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, you may also be wondering about the screen scrolling stuff. That's part of the the whole thing of it being a Game Gear game with the limited vertical resolution. But also, it was quite difficult for the Master System to do 2-dimensional scrolling, so I think that's the way that they got around that, just having it scrolling one direction at a time.
Ooh, I noticed Mephistus is just throw it next to Mickey instead of full-length throws.
Yeah, he takes a death on that boss, which for someone who would be running the game, you really shouldn't be taking a death on this boss. It's very predictable. It actually calls out where it's going to be and what the pattern will be, so you really shouldn't be taking any deaths.
Yeah, the yellow flashing light gives you a big hint where the boss will come out, which side the boss will come out from. And TNT is actually ahead. He's in 2nd place right now. He's just done the 7th fight.
Yeah, TNT clearly having more luck with the speed strat.
Yeah.
Than the other 2 guys right now. He's really made up a lot of time. He was quite a way behind when it came to Fantasy Zone, so for him to be ahead of the other 2 guys now is kind of showing how big a difference that strat makes when pulled off correctly.
If you look at Mephistus' screen right now, there's some interesting damage boost strategies you can do here. If you face left, you can damage boost to the right.
Yeah, he's not doing it correctly though, he's just taking damage.
And he's not doing a damage boost to go down the water quickly even.
Yeah, he doesn't have the health to do that now though.
That's true.
He's only on 1 health point, so if he takes any more damage, he'll just lose a life and have to do this section again.
So the other games coming right top, Axe Kid The Lost Stars, that's going to be 7 levels, which is equivalent to a single loop. Tasmania is Beat the Game. Golden Ghost is 1 loop, not your usual 2 loop runs. Bonanza Bros, that's completing 8 out of 10 levels. And Sonic Chaos, the last game out of Master 15, is Beat the Game. And
you have just seen, thanks for the for the info left result, we've just seen that Infinite Mystery has managed to beat the goal in Penguin Land, so he gets to move on to Aladdin. So Penguin Land didn't prove quite as problematic for him as it did in practice. He spent a good number of hours on it last night when he was having his practice run through. So well done to Infinite Mystery for sticking with it and getting through Penguin Land.
So after that previous level Visitors playthrough, the game splits into two, and he's right now is doing the Crystal Prism-like maze. There's a pretty cool puzzle to see right here. You place a triangular prism facing the correct direction to reflect light, and that spawns a platform. Oh, he's doing the normal strat here. You can do a dash boost and skip using that enemy as a platform.
Yeah, I don't think he's got much experience in the game at the moment, so I think he's kind of taking it a lot safer, especially considering that he's actually a fair bit in the lead now. Although, now that Beatram's through to Legend of Illusion, we are going to see that gap reduce. Beatram currently holds the world record in this game, so we're definitely going to see that gap come down.
Oh yeah, definitely. The runs are like, let's see the world record time again. I think it was it's 15 minutes world record pace. So for a marathon-esque run like this, I want to say 16 to 17 minutes for Beatram.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many spots where he'll lose too much time by playing safe. It's a reasonably consistent game when he gets down to it.
Crazy Rasmus done. I think that's number 8 or number 6. That's 8. Yeah,
That's
sure it's
round
8.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now he gets to move on to the 9th round. Which he manages to deal with. He gets to speed the quick fall on that one, so he gets to move on to the 10th one. It really does make a massive difference getting the strat on that one. It makes it a more boring game to watch, really, but it is a lot faster.
So Beatram is now on Buckingham Palace. He's probably like 2, 3, I'm not excluding boss fights. I want to say 2 levels behind.
Yeah, there's not actually that many actual levels in Legend, though. A lot of the time, as you'll see, is taken up by the boss fights, especially towards the end.
Nice. So Mephistos got. Yeah, he needs to pick up the key. You don't
pick up the key. There we go.
No, dude, I forgot to pick up the key.
Yeah, Beatram doing the boss there in the correct way.
Right now, he's on
much quicker.
Rainbow Field, which is a very cool-looking level, but it's a very simple level as well. You just gotta kill all enemies as quick as possible to complete it, and then afterwards he will fight against another boss, which is actually plays a big role for RNG.
And Rasmus is now on Legend of Illusion as well. He got through all 10 falls of Pro Wrestling. So I've now got at least 3 on Legend of Illusion. I don't know where TNT is right now because he's not on stream, but I'm sure I can just find that out in just a second.
Okay, so now he's fighting against Mephistus, fighting against Rainbow Caterpillar. This one plays RNG plays a bit of a role here to save good amount of time. You notice his body changes to 5 different colors, and whenever you stun him and take out a body piece, he will spit out an attack based on its color. And there's 3 good ones and 2 pretty bad ones. The red one will spit out flames, and the boss will only do its next attack once the flames go away. You can see how much time you can waste there for doing that. The others are quick ones, like example, green will spit out a cactus, blue one spits out a shark. Purple one I've never seen when making a tutorial, will rain crystals down from the sky. I don't know how long that one is. And the brown one will shoot out a cow skull. So you can tell from hearing the attack, from knowing those attacks, you can tell which ones are pretty quick and which ones are pretty slow, especially the red one.
I'm just checking on TNT's progress. He's currently on the same level Beatram is. So them two are very close. That said, Beatram is the world record holder in this game, so he should be able to make quicker progress through it.
There's not that many levels left now on Mephistus screen for just normal platforming, as far as I remember. I think after this...
There's an auto-scroller.
Yeah, auto-scroller,
then bosses.
Yeah, bosses, a celebration level, and then a final boss. It's not the longest game out of the 3. I think it's like in the middle in terms of length. I think Land of Illusion, the second one was the longest, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think Land is something in the 20s, I think, or the 30s maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's 20s for like world record. Like a more casual playthrough would be somewhere in the 30s. But out of the Master System Illusion games, it is the longest. So on the Mephistus screen, we've now got the Dragonfly-based shmup. It's a very simple level in terms of like playing through it. Look at the amount of health Mephistus has got; he's not going to have a problem whatsoever. It's just a case of not taking too much damage.
Yeah, there's like 4 segments on the Mephistus screen right now. Lower part, upper part, lower part, and upper part again. I think I messed up the order there, but basically, yeah, he's on the last segment now. So he's just go to the far right to end the ending part sooner.
There we are. He gets to.
Now there's Sorcerer's Focus.
Yeah. So now he'll take on that guy, and this is the longest part. Like, these 2 bosses are the longest part of the game, really. Like, in terms of how it feels to play the game, it feels like these bosses go on forever.
And health does not carry over after the first fight. As well, I noticed if you take a hit during the first part of the fight, you will still have that current amount of HP when you start the second fight. The first fight is pretty quick, but the second fight is it's 2 minutes long. I'm not making that up.
Yeah, and you can't speed it up by like playing amazingly. Like, if you get each cycle, then that's how long it takes. Each cycle is ridiculously long, as we'll see.
Okay, so TNT is in 3rd place. Beatram's now in 2nd place, judging from the levels.
Yeah, Beatram's made good progress here. Which, to be fair, I'd expect from him given this game. like the next couple of games, like Alex Kidd as well, Beatram's fairly strong in that game too. He's played a fair bit of it. So this is kind of his best section of this set of games. Ghouls and Ghosts as well, I think Beatram will be reasonably good at. He's played through that quite a bit. He's done runs. So the other 3 games I think he may be slightly weaker at, but it's definitely setting up for a good finish.
For those who are just joining in right now and thinking what's going on, this is the Master 15, number 3. It's inspired by the Best of NES Big 20, but the main difference is that we play through Sega Master System games, and there's 15 games instead of 20.
So as you can see, Mephisto's still going on this dragon boss. This is how long it takes. And if you miss a cycle, then you've lost a good chunk even for one cycle. So you really can't afford to miss anything here.
Okay, so on Mephisto's screen right now, it's like a celebration level. The jewels actually have no real use, but apparently if you pick up every single one, you get a slightly different ending. But because this is a speed run, we
don't bother with that.
Yeah, it's better to just completely ignore every single one. There's no enemies at all, which is a very interesting thing to take note. And that's how quick level is. So Mephisto's got to go through one more light-hearted cutscene and then fight against King Pete for the final boss.
This again is very cycle-based. If you miss a cycle, then... Well, it's very cycle-based in his actual hit points. When you damage him, He'll do a quick running animation from side to side, like he's doing now. You just have to jump over him, and he'll attack you from the other side. Obviously, missing a bomb costs you a few seconds if he needs to throw another one. There's not really much more in terms of optimization that you can do with this fight. You just need to get the bombs to him as quickly as you can, without doing what Mephistus just did and drop them on the floor.
And you need to throw a bomb against King Pete 12 times to win.
Yeah, these end bosses are all really long and really annoying. But they're a good kind of test of how well you can keep concentration through an entire boss fight. And Mephistus is having some real difficulty with this. He's already taken a few hits, so if he's not careful, he could prove more trouble than it's worth, really.
Yeah, he's down to 2 HP now. He better not die, otherwise he's going to waste a good amount of time here.
Yeah, if you die on this fight, you have to start it again. So you don't keep the amount of damage you've done to the boss. So yeah, you lose, obviously, because you're losing a good couple of minutes if you die near the end. But it seems to be getting the hang of it a bit more now.
And there you go, he's done it. Nice.
So,
Nice.
well done to Mephistus on that one. He gets to move on to Alex Kidd, The Lost Stars. Now, I see a lot of comparisons with something like Wonder Boy or Adventure Island on this one, in that it has like a constantly ticking down timer for each level. The big differences, really, are that the timer's a lot longer, and that you can take hits, but the hits detract from the timer. The general aim is kind of just to get to the end of each level before the timer runs out.
40,000 power-ups along the way. The J icon allows Alex Kidd to jump much higher. The S stands for shot, which allows him to shoot projectiles. SC, I think, is like basically it fills up your score, the timer, by a few bars, which is a very viable power-up. And there's like a 500 point mark icon, which means you get 500 points.
Yeah, and I don't know whose audio's coming through on stream, but there's some very interesting voice samples in this game. When Alex gets hit, he'll scream, and it's just the worst.
Find a miracle ball. That's another voice sample you hear in this game as well. But Beatrice now fighting against the final boss in Legend of Illusion. TNT is fighting against the dragon. Crazy Rasmus is now getting to the end, so he'll be fighting against the Sorcerer of Darkness very soon. Now, Mephistus playing Alex Kidd. Each level has a theme. The first level was a Toy World style theme. The second level you see right now is the technology theme. Level 3 is a horror theme, and you gotta watch out for this one particular sprite kind of right up in level 3. You won't see it right now.
You'll yes, you'll definitely you'll notice it. I'd say that much.
Now, a fun fact with those trapdoor-like platforms you see on Mephistus' screen, when the door is fully closed, the first open sprite is the only sprite out of the entire sprite's animation cycle that is considered to be open. So when you see the sprite fully open, that's actually closed. But when it's partly opened, just after the fully closed sprite, that is open. You will fall through. Ooh.
Oh, that's an annoying place to fall off, but could definitely be worse than.
The game is similar to Sonic 1, where there is invisible checkpoints, and if you fall down and respawn to the nearest checkpoint, if you fall down again soon afterwards, which is nearby one of the checkpoints, you'll go back even further. So if Mephistus fell down right now and failed to do the rope jump, he will go back even further.
Yeah, if you don't re-trigger the checkpoint, you'll go back to the previous one. So yeah, you need to kind of make sure you at least get back to where you were if you're going to be falling off. And Mephistus is really not having a good time with this level. This is allowing Beatrim to catch up some time here. It didn't have invisible checkpoints as such with Sonic 1. It's more that if you didn't re-trigger the checkpoint, the game would act as though you hadn't triggered it at all if you die again. At least on the Master System version.
Okay, so Mephistus done the second level, that's good. Level 3 is the horror theme.
Yeah, and Beatrim has just done the first level, so he moves on to the second one now. It's getting a lot closer now already.
Level 3 is kind of one of the tougher levels in the early part of the game. There's loads of trollish kind of traps. for the blind player,
Yeah.
especially. That makes you want to shout at the game thing. That's so unfair. And there's the naked guy. And there he is again. I don't know what the developers were smoking, but apparently that's in the game. And this is before ESRB ratings and all the censorships became a... Well, yeah, it's not in censorships, but like localization for a game like this became a thing.
Yeah, when this game came out, there wasn't any sort of kind of centralized ratings system, so they could kind of get away with a lot of stuff.
If Nintendo had the Bionic Commando incident, that's our Sega counterpart right there, the naked guy doing something with his butt. But okay, back to commentating. Partway through level 8, that near the end of level 3 now. That's a good sign. A funny mechanic though in this game is that when you get to the very end of the level, and when the screen no longer scrolls, the player actually loses quite a lot of speed. His speed decreases. And that makes some of the ending parts of certain levels come right up, especially the underwater level and the last level, if you're very unlucky, very trollish. Very troll-worthy. Because whenever you die, when the screen no longer scrolls, it will take you back to the very left side of the screen, and you need to get to the other side of the screen at half the running speed.
So we've got, at the moment, 3 of our players are on the Lost Stars. Rasmus is just fighting King Pete in Legend of Illusion. He's getting towards the end of that now. So he'll be moving on to this game quite soon.
Nice, Rasmus has done Legend of Illusion, so now he's on game number 11. Beatrice's got to be careful. He has roughly 6... Oh, he's just lost a few bars there for taking a hit. He's got to be careful now, especially near the very end.
Yeah, the end of this level could be kind of scary with these enemies here, but he's managed it fine. He's got through.
Now, if Mephistos can keep this up, every winner in the Master 15 race has been unique to each person. So Rasmus won the first Master 15 race back in 2015. Beatrin won the second Master 15 race in 2016. And it could be Mephistos if he keeps this up for the third Master 15 race.
Yep, it's still fairly close though. Like there's less than a level between Beatrim and Mephistos now, so there's every chance that Beatrim could catch up and make this a very close finish.
Level 5 now, Mephistos, and the theme is a prehistoric world. Has some weird level design choices. Partway through, you'll be using a balloon, and near the end, you'll be using a peg. I don't know what was meant to be attached to the peg, but you see what I mean? And you need to jump off from the peg at the correct time, otherwise you'll land inside the dinosaur's mouth. And the actual trap hitbox is actually on his teeth/fangs, not inside his mouth. So there's the balloon. This is also the only time where Alex's kid's suit changes color from bright red to a noble tone of orange. And there's the peg. He jumped at the right time. He's near the end now as well. He's just got to take advantage of damage invincibility right here.
Yeah, if he just runs, he's probably going to make it. So
Nice.
Just keep going. There we go.
Ooh, Beatron's got to be careful now. And okay, he made it through. That's good. TNT's done level 3, and just with few HP as well. Well, few time bars even.
Yeah, it actually saves a little bit of time to have lower health, but you lose the time back in the damage animation and it resetting your position. So there's no kind of need to finish on low HP, but it doesn't punish you twice.
So level 6 on Mephisto's screen right now is a science theme. I want to say that's like your typical spaghetti pasta you get from ready meals on the background.
I would not want to eat spaghetti pasta that looks like that. Like some of the sprite choices in this game are questionable at best, and this is one of them that's very questionable.
I mean, look at this. It looks like sandwiches now, the platforms. They eventually squish up and ends up into nothingness, and green cauliflower like brain. Oh, I don't understand this level anymore. Then you got like little imps, and then these grey things that actually self-destruct. You don't need to destroy them.
Yeah, with Mephistos, I've got a feeling it's less Chef Boyardee and more it's Chef Garbaggio who's turned up and cooked something.
Okay, he's now at the end of the level. Oh no, that's bad. So now
it goes all the way back to the left of the screen and has to go through that little section again.
Yeah,
and again. So as you can see, it can become very problematic to have to do this multiple times, but he's made it through. So, but again, Beatrim is now able to make even more time up.
Now Mephistos on the final level of the loop, and it's a space theme. And the most notable difference you see coming right up is that low gravity is turned on, so his jumps are a lot higher. And there's a very troll-worthy ending at the end of the screen if you get really unlucky with projectile spawns from the angry sun, which is surely existed before Mario 3's sun. This one's a lot more angry, I'll tell you that right now. When was this game released? I can quickly look it up. Alex Kidd, The Lost Stars. Oh, that only shows the master. Okay, the arcade version? That's the original version. That came out in 1986. The console port you see right now, 1988. So, yeah, I'm sure it did come out first. And they're pretty faithful. The 8-bit ports are usually pretty faithful to the arcade most of the time, so... Yeah, it's Mephisto. Ah, nice. He got very lucky with the spawns there. There's a tactic I usually do when making a tutorial where that long sign near the end, I tend to take damage on the second G for two reasons. One, because I did not reach the end of the screen trigger, so I don't respawn to the very left side of the screen. And two, when I respawn, I have damage invincibility from where I am to the very end of the level, so I can just hold right to win.
Yeah, and Tasmania. This is a very quick game in terms of the movement. Whenever you do your Taz's attack, it kind of dashes him in the direction that you're facing if you're moving. So you can traverse things very quickly, and it can lead to you going off the edges of platforms if you're not careful. So we'll see if that happens to anyone. I presume it will at some point. It's a very interesting game. I personally, I'm not a great fan of it, but it has some really good speed tech in terms of optimizing how your movement is.
The best way to describe it's like a Sonic game, but there's a lot more pits, and Taz's horizontal speed, when he changes direction, is always at max. So if you tap the opposite direction for 1 frame, he doesn't go to the opposite direction at low speed like a Mario or Sonic. He goes to the opposite direction at max speed. So trying to land on very thin platforms is a very challenging thing to do. And when you're playing this level, especially if you're playing this game blind, especially not use the spin attack, because it's very hard to control your landing when using spin attack. It's very useful for making long jumps that you're going to be absolutely sure you're going to land safely to the other side.
Mephisto's grabbing a safety one up there at the end of the level. You'll probably see Beatram doing that as well. A lot of the guys choosing safety over outright speed just because of the format.
Yeah, the first boss is the only boss in the game where you can actually trade hits and still win the fight. The other boss fights tend to have a lot more HP and you take more damage as well, so trading hits is more of a disadvantage rather than an advantage. And there's 15 levels overall. For each world there's 2 platforming levels, and then there's a boss fight. And if you game over, you go back to the start of the world. So if Mephisto's game over that 2-3, he will use continue and start again at 2-1. The spin attack's interesting because it allows you to take away, you can knock power-ups away, you can knock bombs away. But you can use an invincibility star, but that does not protect Taz from bombs. The power meter drains very quickly and refills very quickly, to the point that if you did a jump and spin, you can perform another spin like a few frames later.
Yeah, the meter is it basically refills as quickly as you use it. But as soon as it's the same speed. Beatram tried to get the extra life there, but missed it entirely. So he lost a life earlier, so he's actually down. He's down 2 lives against what I think he'd like to be at this point. But a nice quick boss fight for Beatram there, so he moves on to the next level. On the other guy's screens, we've still got Rasmus and TNT on Alex Kidd. Looks like TNT's getting close to finishing. He's on the last level of the loop.
Mephisto's now going to fight against France's ex-Bush lad. No, I made that up. Apparently he's still on another regular level, my bad. They look identical screen per screen in level progression. I want to guess Mephisto's on 2-2 and Beatram's on 2-1.
I think so, yeah.
But I actually had a look up on Game Gear version of Tasmania Devil, and the sprite work is based on the 16-bit version. So the Master System version is actually the most unique out of the 3 Sega games, despite being very basic in terms of graphics, as some people says, being using Microsoft Paint. I would agree, especially for World 4. The background design in World 4 looks very basic. But, okay. Now I'm sure Mephisto is going to fight against France's ex-Bush lad. And trading hits is not ideal because the boss has a lot more HP than the ball and you take more damage. So the best way to do it is to jump before he shoots an arrow, and then attack him afterwards.
Yeah, that was a nice clean kill there. I think he only took one hit during it. Beatram's having a bit more difficulty with this level here. He's lost 2 lives to it so far. Hopefully it doesn't become any more of a problem. As I said earlier, it's very easy to accidentally flip off the edges of platforms if you're using the spin attack.
Cave is... Well, 2-1 for Cave is pretty straightforward from left to right, but 3-2 is one of the few levels in the game where you need to go right, up, left, up, right as a level structure.
Yep. I'm thinking TNT must have gone AFK for a little bit. He finished the loop of Alex Kidd, but he hasn't changed over to the next game, so I can only assume that he has kind of gone AFK.
Oh, Crazy Rasmus
is getting a bit dicey here, but he makes it through just about.
Yeah, he had the unfortunate side effect when the screens no longer scroll, so Alex Kidd lost a lot of running speed and respawns to the very left edge of the screen because of that side effect too. So you lose like a reasonable amount of distance when you try and go from point A to point B after taking a hit. Yeah, but the spin attack, it's very quick, and it's like a Sonic game. You can be fast with good control, or yeah, it's very risky when you're playing this blind. I'll tell you that right now, because most 9 out of 10 times when you do a spin jump, you either go too far to the left or too far to the right, because you found out that the platform you're going to land on is very thin.
Yep. It looks like, looking at the screens again, Infinite Mysteries on E-SWAT, so he's made it through Aladdin and Rambo. Obviously a fair bit behind the other guys, but then he hasn't had anywhere near as much practice as anyone else, so he's doing fairly well for what is effectively his second playthrough of the games.
Okay, so now Mephistus fight against Ball Gator. This one throws some very powerful boomerangs, so you gotta watch out for that. It's best to attack him after he throws both boomerangs. His buddy Axel Gator does not fight. He tends to come over and pick up Ball Gator after getting defeated by Taz.
So far, a very smooth boss kill for Mephistus. Hopefully he'll be able to carry it. There we go. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a good fight there.
TNT's back in action now.
He's on Tasmania himself in the early stages of it. Pretty much even-ish with Rasmus, I think.
I think that's World 1 because the grass terrain's darker.
Ah, yeah, and Rasmus is in World 2, it looks. So,
Yeah.
So there's about a world between them.
And Beatram's fight against Ball Gator too. He's really catching up. Oh, he's gonna die if he's not careful here. No. Okay, he lost a life.
It's unfortunate, but it's not the end of this, because obviously we've got 3 more games after Tasmania, and I believe Ghouls and Ghosts is very strong for Beatram compared to Mephistus, so we've still got plenty of time for him to catch up.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Beatram and Crazy Rasmus both run the Master System version of Ghouls and Ghosts, and they both know the route pretty well, actually, understand how chess mechanics works. I think that's the end of 4-1. Yeah, that's the end of 4-1 for Mephistus. I know what the end of 4-2 looks like. So yeah, you can tell the background design for Ruins is a bit basic.
So
And
Beatrim made it through that boss fight, so he gets to move on himself.
he's only one level behind Mephistus now. Grace Masters is on 3-1, I want to say. Or 3-2. Let's see.
I think it's 3-1.
Oh, no, he
But he
touched
takes
lava.
a death. But TNT is still a fair bit behind him. He's basically the entire world behind. So there's.
Yeah, he's still on World 1.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much danger of TNT catching up to Rasmus very soon.
Oh no, I thought that's almost the end, but it's not yet. Because there's a quote-unquote mini obstacle where you got to destroy these breakable blocks, and the one on the furthest right is the one that actually takes you to the end. The other two takes you to a pit, which is pretty hilarious. Okay, yeah, that's it. Yep, Mephistus chose the right block for the exit. That's good. So now I've got to fight against the two witches. You can sometimes get 2 hits per cycle, but that's risky. You can also lose quite a bit of life if you take too many hits as well. And there's actually 2 witches. One witch will die, the other one will come into play. And will eventually die soon afterwards, really.
Oh, Rasmus had a very close call with that boss there. I just had the sliver of life left at the end of it.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Which actually does save a tiny bit of time, because it has to count down the points from the life bonus. But it's not a massive amount of time that it saves. But I think Rasmus has definitely had experience in this game. He's going kind of exactly... Oh, that's an interesting clip. Yeah. I've never seen that before.
We're going to ask him that for an interview. Did the cat come into play?
That saved a lot of time. Wow.
Holy smokes. Okay. I did not know about that, because yeah, that's a big one. I think that was where Sparkle was talking about on the chat.
I think it is, yeah. So yeah, that's definitely a thing that happens.
So Mephistus...
Neither of the other guys got that, so we'll have to see how much time that actually saves. A considerable amount.
He's almost going to catch up to Beatrim. Oh no, Beatrim's just done 4-2. Rasmus is on 4-2 pretty much, and Mephistus is on 5-1, I think. And the fun fact about the Tasmania Devil games is that the Genesis version, I never played the Game Gear version, but the Genesis version starts off at Valley, whilst the Master System version uses Valley as the last world.
Yeah, it looks like Beatrim's going for the 2 hits per cycle strat here.
Ooh, nice.
Which is fairly dangerous, but he seems to be managing it fairly well. Although he has taken quite a few hits, so hopefully he'll be okay.
Yeah,
and there goes the boss.
Yeah.
So yeah, well done to Beatrim on that one. Nice quick kill.
Oh no, Mephistos just fell into water. He's got loads of lives, so that's not too much a problem.
It's more the time that he'll be losing against Beatram at this point. It's looking dodgy for Rasmus again. He's really low on health. But again, he's managed to get through the boss with that sliver of health left. He's clearly thought about how the bonus works and got low health for that. So we appear to have a close race between 3 people now, rather than just thinking about Beatram and Mephistos. Yeah, we've been having intermittent issues with Rasmus's stream all night. I know his internet connection isn't the best, and it's clearly playing up today. So, unfortunately, there's not much we can do to improve it. It's kind of all down to how his connection's behaving at the time. But this is a very, very close race now between all 3 of them.
Mephistos is fighting against the final boss.
So,
Final boss now. So whenever the bird flies around, it's not actually attacking, but if it swoops down, that is considered to be an attack. So you'll probably take a hit if you try to attack it. And the boss actually has a lot of hits, so you probably, I want to say 15 hits, just from the top of my head, to actually win.
Yeah, and Beatram's just got through 5-2 himself, so he's going to move on to fight the final boss as well.
Oh, he's on 5-2 right now. So...
Oh, he's on 5-2, I thought that was...
Yeah.
That was me getting too excited there.
Oh, no worries, man. They all look very similar. I got lost as well at one point.
But yeah, the real question is, can Mephistos hold on to this lead?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the next game right now, coming right up, both Beatram and Rasmus know very well they can save a good amount of minutes.
And Crazy Rasmus has moved into second place here. He's now fighting the final boss, so he's overtaken Beatram.
Okay, so guys might be wondering why you got this game in the marathon. The Ghosts and Goblin franchise is too hard. Why is this game in the marathon in this race? Well, this is a very blind-friendly version of the entire franchise, to be honest. One of the major difference is that any power-ups you get, they're permanent. So even when you die, or even you just continue, you'll keep those power-ups. Whenever you get a good power-up, you just go through the door, and you can choose 3 different options. There's armor upgrades, which increases your HP count. So it's not a 2-hit game, it can be a 3 or even a 4-hit game, which is a big difference. Helmet, which allows you to select more magic options, and boots, which increases your running speeds. When you purchase, I think, the boots, or at least one of the other armor upgrades, you do gain access to a more powerful throwing weapon when you go through another power-up door. And unlike the weapons in the other versions, including Arcade, Genesis, all these weapon upgrades are just basic throwable weapons, not like how can I say, like, you know, like a flame torch where it throws like a grenade instead of a straight line. In this version, it throws straight across. And there's 3 different upgrades. There's the mini knives everyone knows and loves. There's the golden axe, which is a much more powerful weapon, and you can throw 2 of them, and it's much better than the other versions. And the third one is the flame torch, or you don't throw it like a grenade, you just throw in a straight line, and it's a very powerful tool. So Mephistos is doing a chest spawn abuse strat, where he's now picked up 2 power-ups. He's got faster running boots, so his running speed's a lot faster. And he got the helmet, which allows him to use shield magic whenever he pauses a game and change magic. Oh yeah, that's another thing as well, magic.
Just to point out as well, both Mephistus and Rasmus at the moment are doing the death strat here. It does save a lot of time towards the end of the run if you can get the upgrades quickly. So they're just basically farming for upgrades at this point.
You start off with 2 magics. You can use fire or thunder. The fire is released in an X-like formation. The thunder is more like a plus formation. It deals piercing damage, so you can effectively 2-hit kill some of the early game bosses if used correctly. You can even use thunder and kill Beelzebub, the final boss, the round 5 boss even, in 3 hits. And shield magic, which is attainable after buying Red Helmet, uses up 2 magic points, and it allows you to become temporarily invincible against most of the obstacles in the game, except a few others. There's a few exceptions, which I will explain in rounds 3 and 4 once we get to that point. And obviously when you lose armor, you can't use magic until you get armor again, either through a life refill or just dying. The only downside if you get a game over, I think it's just high score, really. There's no other, and also losing time, but there's no detrimental downside for not doing that run deathless. So Mephistus is almost at the end of the first section. They have to break open a chest to reveal a door and enter through that door to actually fight against the boss. And whenever you die at this point against the boss fight, you will respawn in the boss room, which is another big plus over other versions. Usually, like in the arcade, for example, if you fight against the boss, you will respawn at the second section of the level. It's usually like the first section, second section, and boss fight. And the Master System version is very forgiving, really, because you just continue at the boss fight and not the second section. Now, Mephistus is on the second level. And partway through the first level, there is a bridge segment, which is very troll-worthy if you're playing through this game blind. You may see him doing jumps at random spots, but there's a reason for that. There's invisible, breakable tiles on the bridge. If you walk over it, it will break and you fall straight down. So jumping over these quote-unquote hidden breakable tiles, you can get to the other side very quickly. You can't jump over... If you go down the sand hill, you can't jump over the antlion because you will die. And you can see Mephistus just fell straight through. That's how trolly these bridges are.
Although, as you just saw there, if you land like right on the edge of one of the breakable bits, they'll break, but you'll still manage to kind of stay on if you're lucky enough.
And now red armor. This is also a unique level where there's a mini boss fight where you have to fight against red armor one-on-one or firebrand, depending on your preference. And let's see, Mephistus is now going to get the axe. Okay, so one nice thing about the axe compared to the previous 2 weapons is that it has a wider hitbox. And there's a certain enemy later on, level 5, where you can just stand right next to the enemy and just throw axes upwards and hit the weak spot. You can't do that with lances or knives because the weapon's very thin, skinny, so it won't be able to hit the weak spot. While the axes are really wide. As you can see, it pierces through enemies as far as I can see. Yeah, it goes through the axe and it can hit other enemies too. Oh, got hit by a magician.
Yeah, the whole exploitable shops thing. Obviously, every third chest that spawns, if you open it up, it'll spawn a door, and then I believe it alternates between a shop and the magic life refill.
Yeah.
So it's very much exploitable to basically farm power-ups if you get the right. That you can, if you get a level that has a few quick spawns of chests, you can definitely kind of death abuse to get through the upgrades really quickly. And I believe the speed run, like the full 2-loop run, does that on a few levels to get all the upgrades. Because I believe you need everything to get the Psycho Cannon, and then you need the Psycho Cannon to actually finish the game. So
Yeah,
that's the easiest way of getting that.
Fortunately, the goal for this one is just complete the first loop, so you won't see the Psycho Cannon at all. And you can see how much more damage the axe deals against bosses. It takes, like, I don't know, roughly 20 seconds when you're using a lance, but that was like nearly 5 seconds, and that's a huge difference. You can see how much time the axe will save throughout the rest of the game now.
Yep, and Rasmus falling for the breakable bridge there, going straight into the antlion and taking the death. But it only sets him back to the start of the level. He's still got all of his previous upgrades and everything, because this game really is forgivable. But Mephistos at the moment on an incredibly weird auto-scroller.
The budget cut edition, yeah, it's a crazy idea how they done with the mobile platform, because in other versions the platform was like from side to side, a very long one, but this one is just 4 blocks long, and it extends, decreases size based on where he's standing. And you see, I think that's those green platforms there underneath, those are actual lethal spikes, and the shield magic does not protect you from lethal spikes. There's 2 different kinds of invincibility. Type A, which is like damage invincibility / shield magic invincibility. That allows you to negate most things except lethal traps. And then there's knockback invincibility, which allows you to be fully invincible to anything, but only occurs when you're in a knockback sprite. You can see that kind of invincibility for 4-2. Now, Mephistos on 3-2, this is the creepy tongue segment. And
this can very easily catch you out if you're not careful. There's some spots where there's some relatively tight platforming. And there's some kind of moving platforms as well that you need to look out for.
That blue flame you see on Mephistos' screen, that's a lethal trap. So even shield magic does not protect the knight from damage. I can't remember what I just said now. And also that platform there, those darkish pink spikes there, that's an instant kill. They don't even look like spikes, but they are lethal instant kill spikes, believe it or not.
Yeah, if the magician manages to hit you with his with his kind of magic, he will turn you into a duck for a little bit, or an old man. I think it's random which one you get.
So boss 3, now the position where the boss stops is not luck at all. There's a cycle where he stops. It's like furthest right is point C, the middle point is point B, and the leftmost point is point A. And I could say he stops at point B to A to B to C. If you know where he stops, that's your ideal opportunity to deal some major damage. With the golden axe as your weapon, that's not even a problem at all.
Yeah, Mephistos cut that very close though. Like, the sprites were definitely intersecting there. The hitboxes were very close to each other, so he was so close to dying there. And he made it through, which is the important thing. But yeah, he was very close.
Now, I wonder if Mephistus has got green boots by now, because there's an important route strategy in 4-2, which involves jumping over a certain hand enemy, and if you don't have green boots or better, you're going to have a hard time jumping over this hand, because you're going to use this hand as fireball to knock Arthur back, and use his knockback invincibility to go through instant kill spikes and skip the entire segment of 4-2.
He doesn't have green boots.
No, I just saw that, but I did notice when I was making my tutorial video is that there's another opportunity to do a massive damage boost a little bit later, 2 floors down. So you can't do it on this one because you need either do a frame perfect damage boost to get over this hand. His grabbing range is deceptively high. And
he just killed it with the fire. It took him a few goes to do it, but he just killed it.
Yeah, the axe goes slightly upwards now when he throws straight, so he has to use fire magic to kill these hands. But if I'm not sure if it's possible to keep one alive here. Oh, you can keep that one alive. Oh, okay. Now if he faces the right way,
he didn't that time. Let's see if he manage the damage boost.
There you go. This is your alternative opportunity to do it. Nice.
Yeah, that was good.
And there's a fun fact about that chest spawn there to unlock the boss door. If you don't kill the very first hand in 4-2, for some reason the chest will not spawn after doing the damage boost. So you see other runners, Beecher and Crazy Rasmus, destroying this hand, which looks like there's no reason at all, but it's done just to make sure that the chest actually spawns when you do the damage boost shortcut. So Patron, I think he's got green boots, so he's going to do the earlier damage boost. This is your fast strategy. Oh, he got grabbed by a hand. That's how deceivably... such a big grabbing range.
Yeah, and the like Green Link mentioned earlier, the hands are classed as a lethal trap, so nothing other than the knockback, I believe, will save you.
Yeah.
And even then, the knockback is not as long as you may think it is. Like the invincibility that you get from it, so you can very easily get caught out by it.
Oh, Beecham took another hit. This is going hard now because he doesn't have enough HP to do a dash boost. So he has to do, if he wants to, either A, do a death and do the trick, or B, play the entire 4-2 as developers expect you to do it.
Yeah, I think he's doing the playing like expected.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. I think it actually saved time if he'd have died straight away and gone for the damage boost, but obviously he decided not to do that.
Yikes.
Oh dear, that didn't work out as planned.
Now Mephistus now got a bigger lead now. He's doing very well.
Yeah, and this is a game where I probably have expected Beatram to make up some time, and just doing the exact opposite. He's actually losing a fair bit of time here.
Yeah, it's not
got
going
caught by
his
the hand
way.
again.
Now Mephistus done 5-1. He's on 5-2. Now this bit is a nightmare if you don't have armor on because you won't be able to use magic, and using shield magic here makes this little segment trivial.
Now there you go, Beatram's got the damage boost.
Crazy Rasmus on 4-1, so he'll be entering 4-2 very soon. He's going for a different route now. He's got the green armor, so his HP is at 4, which means he's allowed to at least take 2 hits and still keep magic. The third hit will make the player go armorless, so no magic afterwards. So if you look at Mephistus' screen, you can do a really good strategy by standing next to the... Oh no, he's using shield magic, but the The other method, when you don't use shield battery control, you just stand right next to the enemy and just throw your axe upwards to avoid the flamethrowers.
Yeah, I think the way that Mephistos is doing it is a little bit quicker, because it means you can kind of get straight to attacking the other one.
Yeah.
But if you want a bit more safety, you can go for the way you mentioned.
Yeah, I think Beecham said you only need to destroy the right one to progress further, but this part coming right here, you need to destroy that face to unlock a door. And now he's near the end now. He's just got to fight against Beelzebub and then go through the door. And this is a bit of a joke for around 5 boss. You just stay on the very bottom right corner to avoid the first part, and then just throw your weapons to hard content, and now he's down and out. Now he's just got to go through the door. And there you go, that's the end of Loop 1 and the end of the goal for Ghouls and Ghosts. He's jumping on to game number 14 now, Bonanza Bros, and the goal is to complete round 8.
Yep. In the eyes of helping kind of people who are more to make it more blind friendly, they're doing it on the easiest possible settings. So it's maximum continues, maximum lives, maximum time. But the game is kind of, I think there's no actual like alternate difficulty. It's just kind of setting the lives and the time. But the aim of Bonanza Bros is to basically grab all of these treasures and then get to the exit of the level. So the main kind of speed tech is to optimize the route of getting each and making sure you don't die too often. I think there's a few places where you can kind of take a death to kind of speed things up a little bit, but not to the point where you'd want to take too many.
Now, the playable character for Bonanza Bros does make a very little difference for one little thing. Because the red dude, Rambo, is a bit taller, his gun position is a bit higher as well. And you see these staircases, there's like, partway through the staircase, it's like a mini floor, I say half a floor. You can jump from the middle part of the floor to the upper floor and hit your enemies with your gun that way. And there's a bigger window because Robo is taller. He can use his gun to hit the upper floored enemies a little bit sooner, if that makes sense. Robo is a short guy, and his gun's a little bit shorter. His height, gun height position is a bit shorter as well. So, if you try to jump from the middle part of the staircase to hit a higher floor enemy, I'm not sure if it's possible, but if it is, the time it's very likely more. A little bit more picky because he's shorter.
So Mephistos is already making good progress through Bonanza Bros. I think this is the second level, so he'll have just 6 to go. The main thing with this game though is that each level both is more difficult than the previous and a lot longer. Like you see, the first level only had 3 things to grab, and this one's got 5, being level 3. It'll gradually increase as they go along, and the enemy types become more difficult to deal with as well.
Yeah.
Whereas at the start there weren't many guys with guns, there'll be a lot more now. As they go through the game, and they tend to move faster as well. But Mephistos is seemingly doing quite a bit of pause buffering on his inputs just to make sure that he's going in the direction he actually wants to go in.
Checking the map as well.
And and checking the map to kind of plot his route, which is more a sign of like a lack of experience in the levels. Like he probably hasn't memorized them entirely yet. But it only costs him like half a second each time he checks, so it's not too horrendous, especially when he's got a lead as big as the one he's got now.
Yeah, he's like, this is 2 hours and 40 minutes into a race, so I wouldn't blame him for pausing a quick second just to know where he's going. it's better to play it safe than to be sorry to find out he has to make a massive detour, backtrack to another location just because you've got one treasure piece.
Yep. So he's now on round 4. And we've got Beatram and Rasmus both on round 1. Rasmus about to grab the 3rd treasure and finish that round. So it's looking like it's probably going to be Mephistus winning this, but we can't tell for certain yet. The last few rounds of the goal can be kind of problematic. We'll see kind of how Mephistus progresses on that as we go along.
Oh yeah, you may have noticed this one. When you jump down the floor, it's more ideal to jump down to the middle part of the staircase. If you jump down an entire floor, you will receive full stun. Because you fall down from a higher height, you will get stunned for a few seconds, and you'll be vulnerable to a gunshot.
Yeah, taking a gunshot in itself doesn't lose you that much time. It's like a second or two of kind of just being on the floor, not being able to move. Obviously, if you need to use a continue, that's a bit more. So if they want to, they can kind of not so much strategically die, but just not worry too much if they do take a death.
Fist has just picked up the 6th treasure, and he's now done level 4.
Yeah, that did take a couple of lives off him though. But you can definitely see kind of how the levels are becoming more difficult with the enemy types, having more of them having guns, and there being kind of more of them and moving quickly.
One big factor Master System has over the other versions that it doesn't use a split screen mechanic, because other versions support co-op. This version does not, but that sacrifice actually made the game better for single player because you can see a lot more on the screen at once.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of vertical screen space with only having one player active. Especially in the Genesis version, doesn't matter, I don't believe, whether you've got 1 or 2 players actually active. It always splits the screen, so you end up only having half a screen. But obviously with this version, it can only support 1 player, so they don't bother with any of that. But in terms of the mechanics and everything, this game is very, very similar to the other versions. It's a very good port.
See, okay, so both, I think Crazy Rasmus is ahead.
He is slightly, yeah.
Judging from the the progress on the treasures alone, Crazy Rasmus is ahead.
Yeah, I think he might have taken more deaths though. Although looking at it, Beatram has made a bit of a mistake on his routing here, so he's going to lose some time in going back to get more treasures.
If this is just used to continue.
Yeah, that's one out of the, I believe, the 3 they have available. Is it 4? I remember. I think it's 3.
I'm guessing. I can't actually remember now. I want to say I can have a quick look on the Sega Speedruns website because there's the rules there. Bonanza Bros. 5 lives, 4 continues. Yeah.
Ah, yeah, 4 continues.
Technically, you have 20 lives overall.
So Mephisto's still making very steady progress here. Yes, he has used to continue, but he's coming to the end of this level and he doesn't have that much longer to go in this goal.
Level 7, the laboratory, depending how you pronounce it, features robots who are completely invincible to your attacks.
Yeah, but they're not that difficult to deal with, really.
Yeah, they're pretty.
You can just jump straight over them and just run away from them. It's fine.
Yeah, and the scientists, despite being scientists, they actually do fight back if you don't attack them. This one requires a bit of bait here. There you go, yep. Mephistus did that correctly. Bait the robot to come out.
And now that we've got a few robots on screen there, you can see how the game lags a fair bit when there's a lot of sprites on screen. But that's kind of typical of a Master System game. A lot of them tend to have a bit of screen lag when there's a lot going on.
Ooh, I was close. Yeah, Mephistus took out that scientist just to be.
Yeah, that was a quick turn as well to pull that one off. So Mephistus is going very well here. He's only got one more round to go of the goal, and then he'll be moving on to the final game.
Yeah, level 8 starts to get very difficult now. Round 7 was easy with silly AI robots. This one have some really smart samurai warriors who have very good attacking frame data. Like, they can turn around very quick, they attack very quick as well.
Yeah, just got clipped there. Yeah, but they move relatively slowly, so if you can stay out of their way, they're not that much of a danger. I believe they only have a melee attack, so it's more a matter of kind of not being too in their range. But they take a lot of hits as well. This is being very careful here. There we go.
Yeah, I think Mephistus will do fine here. He's got
at least 2 continues left.
Yeah.
3 credits. So
3 credits, yeah.
Plenty of lives. You can basically just plow through the entire thing here.
Yep. Yeah, I think Mephistus now realised he has to go down a floor to get one treasure piece he did not pick up.
Yeah, he can not lose too much time on it though. He can kind of go to the end of this floor and go down that way. It doesn't have to go all the way back, so it's not too bad.
And TNT just finished level 3. Now on level 4, coming right up on TNT's screen.
Yeah, he's been having a fair bit of problems when it comes to Ghouls and Ghosts. I think he's kind of not as experienced as the other guys in this version of the game, so he's kind of struggling with a lot of it.
And Rasmus on the 8th level now. He's on the same level as Mephistus, so he's slowly catching
Rasmus has been going really quickly on Bonanza Bros, so we could have a much closer finish. So the goal for Bonanza Bros has 8 stages. There's 10 in the whole game, but we're only asking them to play the first 8 for this goal. So Mephistus gets to move on now to Sonic Chaos.
Sonic Chaos is the final game out of this massive race, and there's some notable features. One of the more notable features in the speedrun perspective for an early Sonic game as well is that a fast in-game time does not lead to a slower real time. So the speedrun times you see on the speedrun.com communities use real time for this instead of your good old in-game time. Tails, I can't really remember too much on mechanics. Oh yeah, I think if you hold up and push the jump button, he'll perform a flying special move.
Yeah,
it's
Sonic
not like
has to peel out.
Yeah, it's not like Sonic 3 Tails where you can start flying whenever you perform your jump. You have to be on the ground and then hold up and push the jump button to fly. And you also have 3 continues at the start as well. I think the mode was more beginner friendly compared to Sonic.
And if there's any Sonic Chaos runners watching, then you'll probably get quite annoyed at how the runners here will be playing. I don't think they're going to be doing the full strats for the levels here. But Rasmus has moved on to Sonic Chaos himself.
So guys on the chat, which game is your favorite out of the 15 games for this race? Is it Enduro Racer for the fast-paced dirt bike gameplay? Is it Golden Axe for the high-quality sprite work for an 8-bit game? Or is it Tasmania Devil for being the best Sonic impersonator ever? So for Sonic Chaos, there's 18 levels overall, 6 worlds. The first 2 levels per world is your typical platforming stage. Third level is a boss fight. Now,
Yeah.
I can't really remember
the main difference when it comes to like the boss fight specifically is that in this game, most of the bosses you'll fight, you'll have rings for. So it's a lot easier to fight the bosses in this game than in pretty much all of the other 8-bit Sonics where you don't get rings.
And Faisal mentioned in the chat, Infinite Mysteries now moved on to wrestling. I wish him the very best of luck with the quick tag speed tracks.
Yeah, I don't know if I am is aware of the way you do the quick kill. Well, the quick falls in that game. I mean, if he manages to get a good amount of them, he'll have done better than the other runners. So
yeah. Now, according to some of the faster real-time runs for this, 2-2, 3-2, and 5-2 in Sonic Chaos, it's actually recommended to do the 100 ring strategy, because whenever you get 100 rings, it will take you to a special zone, and if you end that special zone by falling off and touching the very bottom of the stage to quote-unquote die, you will actually complete the entire stage.
Yep, and like we were saying with the the real time not like getting a fast level time in real time doesn't give like a long bonus. The way the bonuses work in this game is it works out a speed number based on various factors plus a bunch of RNG, and the size of the bonus is related to that. So Mephistus is fighting the Gigalopolis boss, which, if you're not careful, can give you some trouble, but he seems to be dealing okay with it. He's taken a hit there, and actually he hasn't got his ring back, and he dies, so no, he isn't dealing with it very well. We have Rasmus's stream back, kind of. It's having some issues again. He's currently on Gigalopolis himself, so it's very close now between the two of them, between Mephistus and Rasmus.
I played this game first time at AGDQ 2013, and when I got to this bit, I think Worst was there watching me, and he told me about the interesting mechanic with the 3 tubes before fighting against the boss. I think there's an actual difference depending on which tube you use, and I think it's the number of hits. Don't quote me on this. I don't know the game off by heart, but I noticed
I think what it actually is in the top tube, I believe there's an invincibility power up, so you get a bit of time to basically just wail on the boss.
Because I noticed when I took the top tube when making the tutorial video, I only need to hit the head 5 times, and then when I used the other tubes, it was at least 8, if not more.
Also, the middle tube is the fewest hits, so yeah. So you are right on that one. And Mephistus has had to take a continue. Now, the game is very generous when it comes to continues. But still don't want him to take too much time on this.
And Crazy Rasmus had actually defeated the boss now, so he's in the lead. That's a big surprise, considering how far behind he was in the early games.
Yeah, Mephistus has had some real trouble with this boss. It's let Rasmus catch all the way up.
Oh no, he took another hit. Yikes. Fist has got
and he dies again, so Mephistus is having
careful.
real problems here. And Beatram has made his way onto Sonic Chaos as well.
I think Mephistus is now figuring out the patterns for the ball.
I think he's trying to play as safely as possible here, but he's still taking hits.
There you go. That's good. Mephistus done 2-3. Crazy Rasmus is doing the special zone strat on 3-2. If you get 100 rings and purposely end the special stage, that counts as a stage clear.
Yep. Mephistus has to be careful here. He doesn't have any continues, and he's only got 2 lives, so he can't be taking too many deaths here.
He needs 50,000 points to get another continue. He's getting a 1-up. That's a smart move. Considering he's now nearly midway through the game, that's a very wise move.
I think Mephistus was kind of considering getting all them things there. But Rasmus is already through that boss, so he's got the 3rd boss dealt with.
Yeah, Rasmus is in a big lead at the moment. You may notice level design as well. Compared to the previous 2 8-bit Sonic games, this one's a lot more straightforward. There's hardly any vertical progression at all. It's literally just going from you start from the left side and you just go to the right side. That's the end of the stage. And 4-1 has a very simple input structure. I think you do a parallel strike dash and hold right to hit a spring. And then after you land on the next platform, you do a spin dash to use rocket boots. You hold right, and then after rocket boots, you hold down to counter a ball to go down slope. If you counter ball and go down the slope, it actually increases your jumping distance. If you're just running down the slope and then jump, your distance is reduced quite a bit.
Yeah, I've just been pointed out in the chat that Infinite Mystery has finished with pro wrestling.
Oh, nice!
So
Very
he's
well
now on to
done.
Legend of Illusion. He's making good progress now. It seems that it was pretty much Penguin Land that was causing him all the trouble.
Now, to people who've never seen a speedrun live later race before, to know who has actually done the race, the person, players go to IRC chat and type in join to join the race, and then type in .ready to say you're ready to start the race. When all the entrants are .ready, the countdown starts from 10 seconds to 1, and then they all start the game at the same time once they see go on the IRC chat. We can tell when Rasmus will finish the race when he types .done. So even when there's stream lag issues, we will know, judging from when Rasmus or any other player who somehow beats him in this game types in .done after defeating the final boss.
Mephistus not having good time with bosses in this game so far. He's died to 2 different bosses now.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, he took a death to the Sleeping Egg boss, which he really shouldn't do. It's a relatively simple boss to do if you've got rings.
Rasmus is taking through the slower route. There's a slightly fast speedrun route, but it's not the most reliable one. Like, if you fall down into water, there's no detour to get back up to and redo the fast route again.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a decent lead now, so even if he spends a little bit extra time doing that, it shouldn't take too much out of that.
Yeah, he's 4 levels ahead. That's how big of a lead he's got right now. He's on 5-2, coming right up. And there's 18 levels overall, so this is level 14 for Rasmus. Technically, it's faster to collect 100 rings, but that's not always a guaranteed thing to do, especially in a in a race after playing nearly 3 hours of playing other games that isn't Sonic Chaos. And
the guys have been going for just over 3 hours now, so you're probably not gonna be able to pull off all of the strats that you might want to. And you might make mistakes. Especially as we've seen with Mephistus, he's making quite a few mistakes in this game.
Yeah, Mephistus is in second place because he's now doing Mecha Green Hill Zone Act 2. Yeah, so many Green Hill names. But always got to be careful. Beatram's got to be careful even.
Yeah, Beatram doesn't have a ring here. At least I don't think he did. I don't know if he grabbed it.
Okay, okay. Beatram's done 3-3. Crazy Rasmus is on 5-3. Got to destroy all the mini robots to spawn the main boss. Main boss has a huge budget cut to the point that it can't face right, it only faces left. But the advantage of facing left is that if it gets near to the corner, you can deal a lot of damage.
Yep, and Rasmus just needs to avoid all these rockets coming in now. And then the boss will come back down, 1 more hit, done. And yeah, in case anyone's missed anything, the lead has changed since the start of this game. Mephistus died quite a lot to the second boss in Sonic Chaos, and he died again to the third boss. So we've now got Crazy Rasmus in the lead. He's now on the last set of levels.
Yeah, this is John is right. Rasmus. Oh, it took a death, but considering, I'm sure he's got continues.
Yeah, I mean the continues are all point based, so he's going to have continues. And he's still got a few lives even before that, so I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, there's an enemy spawn that keeps on spawning frequently on Rasmus' screen. Oh no! He missed a very important
jump.
Yeah, that's a very tough jump to perform, but there's a safety one, so it seems nice. There's a backup one. Rasmus is only 2 levels left now.
The last boss is particularly annoying though, so we'll still have to keep an eye out. There's every chance that Rasmus could struggle with it.
Yeah, luck plays quite a big role for the first phase of the final boss, where the boss walks from point A to point B, and how to deal with the bouncing projectiles as well. It's very hard to get a good fight.
Yeah, and even when you get through that phase, there's a lot of timing involved in the second phase. I mean, it's only the final phase is only one hit, but it's very much timing based.
Yeah, and the bigger trolley part for the second phase, that even when you have rings, if you get hit from that attack, you still die.
Yeah, it's a one-hit kill no matter what. So Rasmus has finished 6-2.
Ooh,
Mephistus. Yeah, that's a death. He missed that. He didn't get to that platform in time, so he had to take the death. It's actually very close now between Beatrim and Mephistus. They're on the same level, I think. Either that or they're reusing back parts of levels here.
I want to say yes, because no, they're different levels. Look at the backgrounds.
Yeah, they're reusing bits. So Rasmus is on the final boss here of Sonic Chaos, and therefore the final bit of the race. Let's see how he does.
There's a reliable strategy though for phase 2 on Rasmus' stream. From what I remember, you need to scroll the screen to the far right to the point it stops, and then go to the left and hold up and set up a strike dash. When Eggman leaves, you go to the far right and then do a full screen jump once you touch the bottom right corner.
He got it.
Got it, nice. And there you go, and Crazy Rasmus is finished first with a time of 3 hours, 8 minutes and 34 seconds.
So yeah, well done to Rasmus for winning the third Master 15. And I believe that's his second victory now.
That's correct, yep, he won the first one a couple of years ago now, October 2015, the first Master 15 race. Beatrim took the title of the second Master 15 race, and now it's back to Rasmus again, the third one. Now let's see who else is. Okay, so Beatrim's now
to fight for second.
Yep. I think Beatrim's ahead. I want to just double
no,
check.
Mephistus is.
Oh yeah, that's right. Mephistus is ahead now. Okay, that's interesting.
Beatrim's fighting the boss. And Mephistus has just started the first level of the next zone, so there's not much between them, but Yeah, it could go either way here.
Oh, guess who it
Hello.
is? Hello, Rasmus. Congratulations. That was a really
Thank
good
you.
performance.
Thank you.
You made a huge turnaround after certain games. I want to say after the dark times of pro wrestling, there was a
Oh,
huge
man.
turnaround.
Oh man,
But
I don't even want to talk about pro wrestling. I don't
To
know
be
what
fair,
happened there.
To be fair, nobody got pro wrestling perfect. Like everybody
Okay.
was having issues with that game.
It's a silly game.
It's just
But
you
I
have more
really-
issues than everyone else.
Yeah, I've never had that much issue with that game. It just didn't let me hold them down. I don't know. It was bad, and yeah, Transport being as bad as it was as well. I'm really happy with the time I got. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really thought that Mephistus had it.
Yeah, it's actually looking like Mephisto's going to be second. He's on the final level now.
Yeah,
He's a
okay.
couple of levels ahead of Beatram, so it's looking good for him being second. But
Because
depends
he
how the
was
final boss
struggling
goes.
second boss.
Yeah, he lost
Yeah.
a lot of lives to that second boss,
That's rough.
and I think he died once to the third boss as well. So he lost a lot of time to bosses.
Yeah.
Like, thing is, like a few games in, it was looking really good for him. He's way ahead, pretty much.
Mhm.
Like he was an entire game and a bit ahead going into Golden Axe.
Really? Huh.
Actually, no, Rambo. Sorry, coming out of Rambo, he was ahead by quite a bit. He didn't do amazingly well in the few games afterwards, but kind of kept ahead a little bit. But it was really like the last couple of games that it all kind of fell apart for him.
Man, such a shame. I really thought
Yeah.
it was his turn to win this time.
Yeah,
It was-
he just finished now, so he's,
Yeah.
there's only a few minutes in it in the end, so it's not like it's been like half an hour difference or anything.
Yeah.
Mephistus finished with a time of 3 hours, 11 minutes, and 57 seconds. That's just over 3 minutes and 23 seconds difference between the two.
And yeah, good. A good race. I was talking to Beatram throughout the whole thing, and we were pretty close. I think at times.
Yeah, like there was a lot of position changing, like through the whole race. TNT was kind of tagging on to the back for quite a while as well. Like I think he actually overtook you a couple of times, but kind of
Oh, really?
got pulled back.
Cool.
Yeah, and obviously with not having practiced the later games as much, he's kind of fallen back a bit further now. He's just starting Sonic Chaos.
Yeah. Okay. I see.
Beaton's fighting the final boss now, so we could be seeing another finisher very soon.
Nice. So I'm really happy with my Tasmania run.
Yeah, you
yeah,
made a
we
lot of time up in Tasmania.
We saw the skip.
It could potentially be world record pace, but I gotta time it later.
Yeah, neither of the other guys did the skip in 4-1.
I thought everyone knew about that skip.
I didn't.
I
I'm in the
didn't
tutorial.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was cool kid who found that like years ago.
So Beaton just finished, 2 minutes behind Mephistus.
Oh yeah, 2
So
makes
very well
that.
done. So yeah, very well done to Beaton as well for coming third. Where did you come in the second Master 15, Rasmus? Were you like second or third?
I think I was third.
Yeah,
I
because
think
it was
so.
Beatram, Mephistus, and then you came third, I think, and then it was TNT fourth. It was. I can
That
quickly
sounds about
check.
right.
Does it have? That doesn't have it on there yet. I was
Yeah,
trying
no,
to look.
I came third. It was Beatram, then Mephistus, then me.
Yeah. So Erasmus, quick question. Out of the 15 games, excluding the ones you have done speedruns before, which games would you speedrun and why? Would you, let's say, someone speedrun Enduro Racer, or would you speed...
I would totally speedrun Aladdin, E-SWAT. Like, I want to get a better time in Legend Evolution and in Tasmania as well. And Bonanza Brothers is also a fun game that I might check out. So there's a bunch of really good games on this list. I feel I'm really happy with the turnout on this list. I think we put together a pretty solid one this time.
Hey, Beatram. Hey.
GG.
Hello.
Congratulations on reaching second place.
Third
place.
Was it third place? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, third place. I'm an idiot.
I don't know.
There's
we were,
Mephistus.
we were pretty close towards the end, the three of us. So.
That was a close race. The GG, man. GG.
GG, that was really close.
Yeah. It was.
If you hadn't have died, Mephistus, on that second boss,
Mm.
you had you had that.
The
in
war.
the bag
Yeah,
before
I've
that boss.
I've game over on that boss. That was pretty bad. I guess if I had not died or game over in that boss, you could possibly be really close to Rasmus.
You probably would have won.
Yeah, you probably would have won.
Yeah, with the amount of lives you lost, you would have won if you hadn't have died to that boss.
Oh boy, that's painful.
Yeah.
Looks like TNT's about half
TNT's
or a
on-
third of the way in, and
Yeah, he's on the second boss now, so
Infinite Mystery is
he's fighting the
Get-
conjurer guy, the wizard
Yeah.
in Legend. So he's not
getting
doing too
close.
badly at all.
Getting close to the end of that.
Infinite Mystery passed through Penguin Land. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It didn't take him anywhere near as long as last time, so it's good news.
Yeah.
Definitely a big improvement. So I'll ask Rasmus this question. I'm going to ask you two the same question. Out of the 15 games, which one would you speedrun, excluding the ones you have already speedrun before? So you can't say Beatram, for example, Legend of Illusion, because you have done it already.
Yeah. Mephistus, you go first.
Yeah, I think Alex Kidd, Lost Stars, probably, or Bonanza Bros. Yeah, that's one game when we raced on the Master Monday, I wanted to speedrun that game, but I did some attempts, but I'd never came to a proper route or something like that. So probably Bonanza Brothers.
Oh, nice, cool. And you, Beatram?
I mean, obviously Rambo, right? No, that's not great. Probably E-SWAT.
Oh, interesting.
The only problem with that is the RNG sub-weapon.
Fair enough, yep.
But yeah, kind of Sonic Chaos, but not really, because I don't really enjoy speedrunning Sonic games.
Ah, that rings the same connection.
Peaceful has a good point too. You
I thought I
just
missed all the rings.
pro wrestling. That's,
I do want to
future-
run pro wrestling. I will actually run pro wrestling. I will have a run. It won't be a perfect run, but I'll have a run of pro wrestling. All matches. I want to know if there's an end to that game. I've wanted to know since I was a kid.
ESA
And-
2017.
Yeah.
The race of fingers. And
There's
yeah,
still 2 days to is it 3 days to submit now?
it's
Yeah.
deadline's Wednesday, 1st of March, yeah.
Yeah, plenty of time to do a run of pro wrestling, obviously. Well, so pro wrestling, I actually got stuck around the same place that Rasmus did. not quite as long, but
Yeah, we were saying,
round
like-
six just suddenly it blew up.
Yeah, we were just saying that before you came in, everybody had trouble on pro wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, it's I was really disappointed when I found the quote unquote speed strats, because I really, really enjoy playing that game. But using like the special moves, not just kick, punch, cover.
Yeah.
And 3 count. Like, I actually enjoy. I was trying to do it when I was failing, but one of the guys, because like I picked that other, I think it's the Orient Express, just in case something happens where I need to like do moves, and I know what the moves are that they do. Like, he can do a neck breaker, and he can do a Boston Crab, which like pins him and just drains his energy. But I was trying to show off the Boston Crab move, but it didn't work. But yeah, I think probably E-SWAT would be the game that I could see myself running.
Just do a hard version record, hard mode, hard ROM record,
Yeah. Yeah, well that's the cartridge that I have, so I would sort of feel obligated to do it, but Rasmus has the easy mode card, but not me.
I can't help being European.
No.
I know. Don't worry about it. No.
Be a fantastic way to lightheartedly troll TMR. If TMR comes to ESA, you bring both your cards, and he has to pick up the correct one. One of them is the hard version ROM, the other one is an easy version ROM. And he has to play through the entire game.
Yeah, they're. I mean, I don't think you can tell. They're, as far as I know, identical prints. Because like I know that mine came in a North American box.
Oh my god, how did I...
That's all I
how did
know.
miss the...
Because the North American boxes are the for that game, it's the latest style, which is like 1990 or 91. I think it's 91. But I don't know if you can tell by the cartridge or not if you don't open it up. You have to open it up to find out.
Once you beat it once, you can beat it every time on.
Yeah, I played the hard mode ROM like shortly after we did the easy ROM right for Master Monday.
Yeah, true.
So like I guess technically I have the time for they're like 18 minutes. So not very good.
So let's see.
I'm really happy to see Infinite Mystery working these Pete bombs very well.
Yeah,
He's been getting better and better at it. Like when he first started fighting Pete, like first time round during the race, he's been struggling quite a bit, but like he's doing a lot better with him now.
It's just a weird mechanic. The first time you play the game, it's like, what do I do? How does this work? And the only hint the game gives you, or like the only time you use a similar mechanic, is in the very first stage. You jump and pick up a block that's in midair.
Also in Gardens of Illusion.
Yeah, that's true. So you do it twice.
Yeah, but the blocks weren't moving, so that's why it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I always fall down. Shit. Shit. I've never seen this part of the.
But
No.
I'm sure it was good.
Visual's back.
Okay, we should be back online.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So the TNT is near the end of Sonic Chaos.
Yep, and Infinite Mystery's making a really good showing right now. He's on to Alex Kidd Lost Stars.
Yeah, he's making way better time than he was last time. That's for sure. Took
Yeah,
him 18
definitely.
hours last time, and when he did this list last night, took him 10 hours. So he's definitely on great pace.
Yeah, he's almost 4 hours ahead.
Yeah.
Most of that is Penguin Land, but
Yes.
he's nearly 4 hours ahead of what he did yesterday. So definite improving.
Yes, for sure.
Oh no, TNT
if it's
took the
right.
wrong pipe route
What to press in these queues.
because he went out a bit earlier, and
Ooh, yeah.
yeah,
That's harsh. So yeah, I guess this is a good opportunity to plug our Monday night
Yes, just
blind races, which I assume you guys have mentioned at least once.
Yeah, I've mentioned Master Mondays.
yeah. Mentioned during Rambo, saying how inconsistent that game was.
Yeah.
I can
Yes,
post
we-
this on the. I can post it on the stream right now. The link for Master Monday.
Yes, we do a blind race of a randomly picked game every single Monday. We have done it every week now for well over a year. It's a year and a month. No, 2 months now, at least. Hopefully we'll keep doing that until we're out of Master System games to pick from. So any one of you who likes the Master System and feel like just playing some random games, feel free to join us.
We also
are-
got Discord. Shall we try and link that as well?
I can.
Nah, let's.
I think
not.
anyone who's interested can message one of the
Yeah,
guys
sure thing.
on Twitch or whatever, or
Yeah.
on Twitter.
Yeah, I
if
think
you're interested.
that's
And then
probably better.
we can get you.
Fair
hooked up
enough.
with that.
Yeah, I don't think our Discord is set up to accept a lot of random people at once. So
Yeah.
just in terms of roles that you get and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
Well, TNT just finished.
He did.
Nice.
Well done to TNT. So he finished in 3 hours 29 and 42 seconds. So about just over a quarter of an hour behind Beaton. So still pretty good pace, under 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours. That's really good time. For sure.
Try again.
Perfect ending.
That's just speedrunning summed up, isn't it? Try again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, well done to all 4 guys that have finished. And obviously we've still got Infinite Mystery going. He's getting closer to the end now. He's on the 3rd stage of Alex Kidd Lost Stars. So I think we're going to wrap things up for this stream, but we're going to be hosting Infinite Mystery. So if everyone wants to go and head over there and cheering on his progress on these last games, we should all go do that.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, if you want to see more Master System action, go and check out Infinite Mystery, finishing the remaining of the 15 games. Raise and Frank Aziz, give him the best of luck. Support him. So I might as well, as this is the end, thank you very much all for watching. Feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel Sega Speedruns for more Sega related speedrunning content, including tutorials for future Master 15 races, and possibly some other things as well. I typed down the YouTube link right now. I think it's going to be a very vital channel for future runners who want to take part of Master 15 and don't feel intimidated by the difficulty of each game, because for this one, this was the first Master 15 where I created tutorials for all 15 games. It included commentary by me and annotated text to highlight certain parts about each game.
Yeah, so thank you so much for doing that, Greenlink. And thank you, Greenlink and John, for doing the commentary. I'm sure it was awesome, even though I couldn't hear it. And also thank you, Fiesel and Speed Gaming for hosting this for us.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Fiesel.
You are the man. It's now hosting Infinite Mystery. Yeah.